I hit. Oh wait, no.
Limp Biscuit.
BMX, Method Man, Red Man, and Swizz Beats. Where the fuck
Where the
you
fuck
at?
you at? Okay.
I'm recording.
For real though, are we ready to
Yeah.
go?
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
Okay. Alright, so last time we played, you, the Blue Hearts, had finished obtaining the final key that you had been sent out by Anna Stonebrook to achieve. After a night of festivities at the Embrace, you planned your next move. Having been told by Goff's doppelganger that there were potentially forces at work in Arcadia that may mean ill for you, you decided what precisely you would do, whether you would head back at all, or what you would do with the key. Ultimately, after making a few sending messages out to various people, including Anna, whose message seemed to be blocked in some way, you decided that perhaps it was time was of the essence and you should return to Arcadia. After journeying through a teleportation circle back to your home in the Dapper Snapdragon, you set about your business, reacquainting yourself with your stronghold and meeting up with a few people, including Moira, who had indicated that a couple of detectives had stopped by the day prior in order to ask about your whereabouts as well as your relationship with Chancellor Stonebrook. You then proceeded to the Civic District, where you, through your investigations, discovered that there was a trial going on. And after making your way into the courthouse, you discovered that this trial was for Anna, and that she had been arrested and charged with being the Grand Master of the Crimson Harbingers. After meeting up with Dr. Walden and Jack, who were in the city, and deciding what you were going to do in order to get to the bottom of this, if Anna wasn't guilty, to potentially clear her name, you then made your way to speak with her attorney, Edward Leovan, who pointed you to a variety of potential leads that the prosecution had put forth as their evidence for the case. He pointed you toward two things. The first being a number of eyewitnesses, top lieutenants in the Crimson Harbingers that are going to testify that she is the Grand Master. They are currently being held in the prison, and he is scheduled to have you be allowed to interview them later that evening. But in the meantime, he also recommended you take a look at First Arcadia Bank, where a large amount of gold was seized from Anna's vault, essentially suggesting that Anna had been moving a lot of money around and been funding this Crimson Harbinger effort, as well as perhaps having some some being a silent partner in the Ajura Hand Company, as one example. So he pointed you in that direction. So that's where we pick off. As you are exiting his law offices, the secretary, the young woman in the very sharp outfit, stops you for a moment, and she calls out to you and she says, Mr. Leovan asked me to give this to you. It should give you some measure of authority. And she hands you a small card that seems to be imbued with some minor form of illusion magic that kind of creates an illusory image of
Attorney's badge.
Yeah, Ed Leovin's face, essentially, like a 3D hologram almost of his face.
Oh. Thank you.
I'm gonna flash it to everybody we see.
Nice.
You see my badge?
You see
my
it?
badge?
You see, it's got this guy's face on it.
Well, we have a lot of places to look.
Let's
Where
begin.
we want to start?
Let's begin with the bank.
Let's go.
What time is it right now?
It's about 3 o'clock.
Okay.
So we have 5 hours to cover the leads. Alright, as we're walking, I'm gonna turn to Golf and say, well, so Golf, if the Harbinger lieutenants weren't lying, do you think it's possible that they had their memories altered like mine was?
It is a good guess.
Do you,
It's definitely
They
possible.
are either incredibly, inexplicably cunning, or they have been convinced under no doubt that what they believe is true.
I hadn't thought about that.
And if their memories have been altered,
do
well,
you think you can, do the same thing you did for me?
unlikely. If this prison is as I imagine it to be, I will not be able to cast any spells inside.
It's
But
true.
we can convince those that have them captured that it would be in their best interest to make sure that there's no magical tampering.
Yeah.
Maybe you can just tell them the spell you used on me and have them use it on them before they enter the anti-magic field.
It would take a silver tongue to do so, I imagine.
Well, I think, well, luckily we do have one of those. I'd even say golden. And I
You're
just
talking about me, right?
I like grin and just, of course.
I just look at mine and fold my arms.
Now, as someone who has some knowledge of such a spell, it probably isn't so simple. You can only really change a very small amount of the memory, so unless it was like they never knew the identity of the Grandmaster and only learned it very recently, it wouldn't have been able to be altered so simply.
But,
Fair point.
that is true. But then my entire, like,
Yeah, I don't know, that's up to Falk. I'm just reading how Modify Memory behaves.
Falk?
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
Can modify memory do significantly more than the spell description states in this scenario?
Make an Arcana check.
Because it greatly affected Alan in more significant ways.
Make an Arcana check.
Well, mine was bad, so
I mean, I can try.
mine's like
Mine's a natural 19.
yeah, mine's an 8.
With no
so-
bonus, no
Nice.
modifier.
Your understanding of the way the Modify Memory.
Oh wait,
spell
I don't
works-
know that spell. I shouldn't be rolling. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you're
I was
not
thinking
proficient
about
in
Greater
Arcana.
Restoration, which I
Well,
can
can Goff
do.
give me an advantage so I can roll again?
Well, I
Well,
don't know.
does Goff
I
have
don't know.
proficiency in Arcana?
I don't.
No. Then no.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
well,
I
then
was.
don't
I
What
got.
was your total?
Mine?
Yes.
8.
8. Unfortunately, I don't think you know enough about this spell, having not really studied it yourself personally. I mean, you have access to it, but it's not
Yeah.
something that you've really spent some time looking into. Okay.
I was still reading
All right.
because the description of the spell is like 800 words long.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you all wish to do?
I believe we're heading to, the vault.
We're heading to the bank. Yeah,
Okay.
that's my song.
All right. Well, then you make your way through the market district. You are aware that First Arcadia Bank is actually within the market district itself. So you head a little bit southwest from Ed Leovin's office until ultimately you see this towering gray brick building with an ornate clock at its face. And the building steeples at the top, casting this imposing facade across the lesser buildings surrounding it, and you spot several guards from the city out front. Some guarding the place, others discussing their findings, conversing with one another. There is a very heavy presence here of law enforcement. And outside, you actually spy one of the guards talking to a fairly diminutive dwarf who is wearing a fine blue velvet outfit with ruffled collars and sleeves. And he has this short gray beard that is very straight and trimmed neatly along his chin. And you see him, as he's speaking to the guard, he's sort of nervously rubbing the top of his bald head as you all approach.
What seems to be the commotion here?
The guard turns toward you and says, "Oh, there's nothing, citizen."
Not necessarily a citizen. I'm gonna flash my,
The attorney's
badge.
Yeah.
We are
Check this shit out.
Mhm.
we are investigators. We'd like to investigate the crime scene the vault in question if possible.
The guard says, "Oh, let me see that." And then he takes the card from you and he kind of looks at it a little bit and he grimaces a little bit at the attorney's kind of ostentatious hologram-like visage popping up from the card.
He's
He
very
says,
pretty, isn't he?
All right.
Hmm.
And he hands it back to you. At which point the dwarven man, he stops and he faces you. And he says, "Oh, I'm to take it. You're with the defense."
Yes.
Yes, we are.
"A pleasure to make your acquaintance. Edmund Vivaldi at your service." And he bows his head
Vivaldi.
low and he holds his hand out toward you.
I will shake it.
Yeah.
Why does
I'm,
Vivaldi sound familiar to
He's a musician.
a real world
Four
musician?
Seasons. He wrote a string quartet
Yeah.
called
Oh,
Four
okay,
Seasons.
Like a
okay, okay.
composer.
Sorry, I thought he was another character in the game. Sorry.
No.
No. So he says, "I am the owner of this bank, and I would very much like it if you could alleviate some concerns that some of the city guard have been having about its security." And he kind of ushers you in. And as he's moving along with you, he's speaking. "As you can understand, we have many high-profile clients, and if they were to believe that their money wasn't safe, well, that would be bad for business. So I'm sure that you can conduct a thorough investigation, find out there's nothing wrong, and be on your way."
Why is it that they're claiming that the security is lax? Was that not the problem? Wasn't it just that she was moving? That she was,
Allegedly.
allegedly being. That I said that. Listen.
That appears to be the case, but as you know, they conduct thorough investigations, and one of the things they brought up is that possibly our security system is not up to snuff, and I can assure you that's not the case.
I see.
Of course. If I just well, I'm pretty sure that he's pretty honest. He's probably just nervous about his livelihood because this is his livelihood. But insight check just in case,
Oh my
Sure.
god.
because that's who we are as Blue Hearts.
Mhm.
That's just who we are as people.
Yeah,
I've made
that's
it this way.
You create a
we are the
monster out of
monster
us.
you created.
that's a 15 plus. 15
Actually, its name is the Blue Hearts
12.
Monster.
Oh my god.
The
Blue Hearts is the doctor.
Scientist.
The fuck
Yeah,
Oh
Right.
god. Please.
Okay. What was the total, Mel?
it's a 27.
27. Okay. You do notice a few beads of perspiration on his forehead. He does seem very anxious about this whole situation. It seems like this is the first time there's ever been a serious issue with his
With
bank.
the security, yeah.
And he certainly doesn't. He looks like he certainly doesn't want any insinuation that they're not doing their best.
Okay. And I'm just gonna reassure him and be like, don't worry. We'll do the best job that we can, and should we find everything in order, we'll make sure everybody knows that nothing is wrong with your security.
Excellent, excellent. Well, come this way. And he ushers you into the lobby. as you step into this very brightly lit lobby. It's the pillars and walls around you are gilded with a soft silver and gold trim, and the floor is this impeccable marble depicting a silhouette on the ground that seems representative almost of the same silhouette that you see on gold coins that are minted throughout the city. Um, the lobby ceiling is quite high, it reaches up about 3 stories, with balconies lining the room on the upper floors. And to your left, you see a caged teller's booth. And above, you can spot on these other floors, you can spot row after row of secure vault doors. So he steps inside. It's fairly empty in here, with the exception of your group and a couple of city guards. He sweeps his hand magnificently across, just sort of motioning toward the entire establishment. He says, "Very well. If you have any questions, I will be here. I can point you to Miss Stonebrook's vault, but as you know, we keep a fairly extensive record of financial transactions in here as well. So the financial transactions we have on Miss Stonebrook's finances seem to match up with what we're seeing physically."
Will we be able to see the documents
Oh,
themselves?
of course. He actually moves over to the teller's booth. He says, "Oh, follow me, follow me." And he takes out a large key ring and he unlocks one of the doors. And he's on the teller's booth. He steps inside. He says, "For security purposes, of course, we keep multiple copies of the financial transaction ledgers. We have one up front here at the teller's booth. We have an additional one that is kept securely in the back, as well as a third that we keep off the premises in my own secure private vaults. I've brought all 3 with me so that you can compare, and you can see that the ledger is consistent across."
I'm
Okay.
sorry. Could you repeat what he said? There's 3. Three what?
Ledgers.
Okay, so what were the 3
3
letters again?
copies of them.
Three
yeah.
Oh, three.
copies of them.
3 copies. Are they? Okay. Did he imply that they're like
The same.
they're all like, so one is made, then 2 copies are made from the ledger, or are they like?
They're all done at once and then
Okay.
stored on different locations so that there's some redundancy and that there can't be any tampering, essentially.
Did he say the locations where they
Yes.
were?
That one was here at the front in the teller's booth, one was held in a secure vault in the back of the bank, and a third was held off premises at his own private estate in the city.
Okay, thanks.
And he says, if you peruse the ledgers, you'll find that they are identical. And they seem to support what the city guard found in her vault. Additionally, we had a couple of night guards on the premises who reported that there were no signs of anything unusual. And additionally, the vault itself was one of our more advanced physical locks, complete with an array of magical anti-intrusion devices.
Ooh.
When was the last time
Alright.
that you checked the intrusion devices?
We check them every evening to make sure that they're still functioning, and if they're not functioning or they're not functioning or there's something that's gone wrong with them, we bring in one of the members of the academy that is responsible for bolstering the wards or the various alarms and make sure that they are in place.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I
Um,
will be around, but I should return to calming the officers' fears. And
of course.
he kind of dips his head low in a over the top bow, and then he walks back toward the entrance of the building.
Okay, so there are a few avenues of investigation open to us here. First, we have the ledgers. These would be transactions that supposedly Anna had done. We could trace those, and we could also look at the uh, the vault itself. Look at the security system. Uh, Personally, I am a little. I'm interested in seeing what kind of security the vault had. Uh, he seems extremely proud of it.
According to them, they've been thorough, but I think it would be good to check out.
To double check. Yes.
Hmm. I want to take a look at the documents as well. They could have been, even if there's 3 of them, they could all have been altered.
And there could be discrepancies between them too.
Yes. They could also, if someone's tampering with them, that could be a lead. And I wonder, just there might be just strange transactions that make no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have access to the vault itself?
Mm-hmm.
Are we able to go into it right now?
If you want.
Is there money in it?
This is all very complex for me. I will take a look in the vault, I suppose.
Of course. You probably would do well there as someone with some knowledge of magic. Maito,
no.
you also have knowledge of magic,
Ah.
right?
Oh, Mito does too.
I have what magic?
Knowledge of magic.
Oh,
You know it
yeah.
exists.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Do you think you could take Goff with you, and you could go with Goff and see and look at the magical bits of the vault security?
Hell yeah.
All right. I myself, I'll be with the ledgers, I believe.
I'd like to take a look at the ledges as well.
Sissel, where would you be? Where will you head?
Team support.
I don't know if we're going that far apart from each other. I think we're all going to be roughly close together, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's true.
I mean, still, I'm just saying, like, I don't think we're going to be like hundreds
We're
of feet
not
apart.
like split. We're not gonna be away
We're-
from each other.
yeah.
But like just
We'll be like in earshot of eyesight of each other. I'm imagining based
yeah.
on
This is probably just like what are we doing? Who's
Yeah.
doing what? Sort
Right.
of. You do have your magic eyes, right?
I do, but I don't. If there's an anti-magic field in the vault, then I don't think that particular spell would work.
Is there an anti-magic field in the vault?
We
You don't know.
never
You're not
asked.
in there.
We could try it out.
You could try it out. Golf, your tattoo stops moving if there is an anti-magic field, right?
Yes.
All right? We can. You'll know that way, I suppose. All right.
Break.
Break.
Okay, so who's going where?
I'll go look at the documents.
Ellen and Heraith are document hunting.
Okay, so
Um,
they're actually all 3 of the ledgers are in front of you in the teller's booth.
oh, okay.
So there's 3 of them side by side. They're all closed at the moment. As you open them, you see that there are pages and pages of transactions. Each one of them seems to be marked with a tab that indicates a different client. You quickly flip through until you get to one. It seems to be marked for Anna. You start going through it. You can see that the way it's set up is you have a date and a transaction amount, deposit or withdrawal, as well as a description of what it's for.
All right.
So is there anywhere you wish to begin your search?
Large numbers?
I also just want to like generally inspect and see. Yeah, I don't think I had detect magic. Is there any way that I could like try to use my arcane knowledge to see if it was affected by a spell in any way?
You have
besides-
true sight, right?
Oh shit! Yeah, I'll cast True Sight.
Okay.
Dang.
So your eyes flash with a bit of arcane purple energy, and as you're scanning the book, There doesn't appear to be any illusory magic on this. It
Okay.
seems to be fairly standard.
I'll just keep my special eyes for now.
How long does that last? Like 10 minutes or an
I
hour? Or
think. Well, let me look it up.
I think it was 10 minutes when we were in this war room.
it's
think so.
1 hour.
Oh,
Oh,
1
I
hour. Oh no, I'm thinking of Zone of Truth. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's an hour, so I'll just keep them up.
It's not even concentration. Wow, it's really good.
Wow.
Well, I have to I spend 25 gold every time I use it.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah,
closing
20
my character
mushroom
sheet.
powder, saffron, and fat. That's the components that they consume.
Fat.
Listen,
I mean, saffron's a pretty expensive spice.
I just imagine Hiraeth just takes a big glob of fat out.
I mean,
Mhm.
fat can
got
be
it. She
oil.
just got it all like wadded into a ball.
Yeah, just
Fat can be
some,
oil.
just some, yeah, just like a
she
glob
didn't
of
have
butter
it.
mixed with, it's a glob of orange butter
Barn.
with magic mushrooms in it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Hiraeth, as you're looking at this ledger with your enhanced sight, you don't see any sort of illusory magic that's or hidden anything hidden in these ledgers. Seems to
Okay.
be fairly standard.
Just making sure.
All right. Now, is it like a bunch of big numbers, or like big transactions, or is it?
So,
like
are you
a
looking
lot
for?
of-
There's a lot of transactions here. This probably covers a good 2 years or so of transactions.
Okay.
Is there anywhere you want to start?
Let's go with the closest to her disappearance.
Okay.
So.
So give me an investigation check.
Okay. That's another 15. 15 plus 12 is 27.
As you're looking at some of the transactions that are around when she last disappeared about 3 weeks ago, you do see what look to be very, very large amounts, and I'm talking about thousands of platinum pieces
Ugh.
that were funneled to, it looked like the names of various corporations that exist in Crankshaft Hold, or are part of, various warehousing operations in the city. That, at least some of these appear to be like maybe warehouses where there were Crimson Harbinger cells that were later discovered.
Interesting. All right.
Were they just? I know I'm not there, but just for clarification, these were discovered before these transactions were made.
Yes.
All right. Let's.
So maybe they're back.
Let me clarify it this way. They are two companies that own the
warehouses.
own the
Ah.
warehouses where they were found.
Okay, I was just trying to get timeline correct. Okay.
All right. Interesting. The. Sorry, I had a question. This is what happens when you play a smart character and you're an idiot. Okay. How, like, the dates, do they match up? Do they end when she disappeared?
What do you mean? Do they end?
Like, do the transactions keep going after
They
the
keep
date?
going up until maybe like 2 days ago. There seems to be some money that's moving in and out of Lindholm, some that are moving into locations in the crossroads through trade companies. As you're looking across all three books, at least with these particular transactions, they do seem consistent across all three.
All right. Interesting. They're going to Lindholm, they're going to Crankshaft Hold. Alright, I'm gonna flip to about the time that we took down the Ojera Hand Company.
Okay.
Uh,
I'd say we can keep the
yeah, we
that-
can.
particular check.
Okay.
you do see around the time that you defeated them, essentially, when you wrapped up things in Crankshaft Hold, around the time that Argera Hand Acquisitions was discovered and subsequently shut down, you see a massive amount of money being deposited in Anna's account, as if she took a bunch of money out of some place and
And
withdrew. Yeah,
It
essentially,
doesn't say
like,
which place.
no. But it's almost suggests like a silent partner pulling their money out, kind of thing.
Okay. And there's like records of her being the one initiating this. This is not like
Yes.
another. Okay.
We see her signature on it.
Okay.
Does it look like hers?
Give me an investigation check.
Should
Oh,
Ellen
that's
do
okay.
this?
Yeah. If it looks.
Can I point that out and help Ellen because my
Yeah.
investigation's
Yeah.
bad?
Oh, you have. Okay. If that's advantage, that's a natural 19.
Oh
Oh
lord.
my god, so it's like a 30 something.
31.
31. Okay. Ellen, you're looking at this signature. You haven't seen Anna's signature a ton, but you have seen her occasionally when you go to meet her in her office. She's writing things writing notes to various officials, and you have from time to time kind of looked over that and seen what her handwriting looks like and kind of studied a little bit. And you're looking at this, and it looks very, very similar to her handwriting, but there's something about the way that the T is crossed or the L is looped over that seems like it was almost hers, but as if maybe this was an absolutely impeccable forgery.
This, I'm gonna turn to Wraith and say, well, this signature is extremely good, but not hers.
I see.
I'm gonna turn to, I guess, like the beginning of the ledger and then look at
Okay.
one of the signatures there.
You look at that, and when you look at, you see more modest transactions. These are from a couple of years ago, before you had even known her. And these, you see her signature, and this looks more like what you remember. This seems correct.
There's no way to... Interesting.
We have to get our handwriting specialist to make a statement about it.
I know, I'm just trying to think, like, how do we... That's very interesting. All
How
right.
do we use that as evidence? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
where in the case, where in the Phoenix Wright game do I bring this up to the judge?
I was thinking more about all of my SVU / bone / procedural crime.
Oh my
shows
god,
I've
you
watched.
guys.
How do you? Yeah, I actually slightly. Like,
There are experts that like
So you have to, like,
study.
yeah,
Yeah.
you have to like consult with someone who understands like
You have to
writing.
have
there-
like qualified experts. You need people who are like licensed and certified and are well renowned.
Well,
Is there someone like that in the city?
I assume there
Not that
might
you
be-
know, and
Well-
Oh fuck.
not that
we-
somebody who could probably do it in short notice.
Yeah.
well,
At the very least, just from what a
The-
layman might know, it's very strange for someone's signature to change, especially at this point in their life.
Yeah.
So
The layman would look at this though and think that they're identical. Like it's
Okay.
almost imperceptible. Like I'm saying this, Ellen, you rolled over a 30, and that's the only reason you saw it. That's how good it is.
So probably not something that we can use. Again, I'm sorry I'm not
I-
in there. I don't. I'm just commentating outside of the roleplay.
can I...
even if
can-
that's the case, I say we hold on to it because
Oh, yeah.
we're going to need everything we can.
Alright, can I flip through and start seeing when the forged signatures
Sure.
begin?
As you're flipping through, we'll continue using that investigation check. As you're flipping through, you're looking through this, and you start seeing interspersed with what look to be normal transactions of Anna's. Um, they appear to be more suspicious-looking transactions, starting roughly maybe a month prior to when you all met her, when the whole business with the former chancellor's murder occurred. As you're looking through this, you see a number of other things that sort of stand out to you. You see one transaction that seems to have been a withdrawal for 800 platinum that went to a Dropbox near the Ebony Thicket, which you presume is probably related to Medici. You do notice, as you're starting to look a lot closer at these transactions, these ones that look suspicious, with these falsified signatures. And by the way, the signature is a separate handwriting from the actual ledger information. It looks like the ledger information was maybe entered by a teller or by somebody else.
Yeah.
You notice something odd. You notice, for example, that the Medici transaction, the date is different across two of the ledgers.
Interesting. Hey, Hede.
It's off by a day.
This transaction is off by a day.
Well, it could have been
Like-
a clerical error, but it's fishy. Because that's one of the I can't tell the signatures look different, so I'm just like that's one of the strange ones, right?
Yes.
You're saying the date was different between two of the ledgers?
Yes.
Okay. Just clarifying for my own notes.
Okay.
It seems like, this was an extensive, if this was a forgery, this was extensive, and even though these people, whoever did this, seemed very thorough, obviously they're given time, they're going to maybe make a mistake or two here or there.
All right. So these ledgers probably weren't altered magically, but they were altered. And these are definitely forged. Alright.
By the way, while you are also in this teller's office, you kind of glance to your right and you see a number of illusory screens similar to those kind of scrying cameras kind of thing that you saw in those in the
in Crankshaft Hold basement.
Yes. So there look to be a number of panels that represent scrying sensors that are within the vaults and are displaying images of the vaults themselves.
Do you think we can...
Do my special eyes detect anything all odd or falsified about what the images are showing?
At the time, they look, from what you're seeing right now, they look normal.
Okay.
Do you think that they keep a record of these? Do you
It's
think we can view
magic,
the
so-
footage
Hold
from
on.
when one
Yeah.
of these transactions was taken?
Hello?
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 I had to get up and deal with Gatsby.
Oh,
We can certainly ask. I'm not sure if
alright.
these types of scrying it would have to be a different sort of spell to be able to record.
Well, this is a bank. They do love their records. If anyone was going to try to figure out how to record a scry, then it would be them.
That's true.
Alright.
Okay, so before we head on to whatever next you want to do, let's shift
Yeah.
gears.
Yeah,
to
let's
the,
go
to
back
the rest
to
of you.
the...
So the rest of you, you're exploring the vault. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. So you are ushered toward the second floor by one of the city guards, who brings you toward one vault that you see. There's a little placard on the side that says Anna Stonebrook. It's slightly ajar. On the vault door itself, you see what looks to be
Oh. Oh. Hello?
Hello?
Sorry, I guess my fucking Wi-Fi went out again.
Oh no.
Oh.
as you're looking at the front face of the vault, you see what looks to be a 6 almost like a entry for a 6-digit passcode on the front. The door is, however, slightly ajar, so it's been opened, and as you're staring inside, you see mountains and mountains of gold and silver and platinum coins in this
boy.
space.
I feel like I'm in Gringotts right now.
Mido's kind of like grinning and looking around.
Don't take anything.
Do not
I'm
touch
not going
that.
to. I can look.
Harriet's in a different spot. Harriet didn't actually say
Oh,
that.
right.
It's okay, Goff said it.
I
Mentally.
can look.
Okay.
And also, the rich
the-
probably wouldn't
if you-
notice that they're missing one.
If I,
It's Anna.
it's Anna. Oh, if we step in, is there an anti-magic field that active? Like, does it anything? Do I
No,
feel
but
my-
as you step in, you do feel your foot press up against a wire, a tripwire of sorts. It doesn't
oh,
trigger anything, but when you look down, you see this fine piece of just hair thin wire stretched across the front of the vault door.
it doesn't do anything.
Not that you can see.
Is there a guard standing right next to us?
Yes.
What's that do?
That's just a standard alarm spell.
Um,
You trip the alarm wires, and it sends a signal to the guards.
is it active?
Actually, Hiraeth and Ellen, as you're down in the teller's booth, you actually hear this silent, like this low-level alarm. just
Oh
sort
my
of-
god.
Are we close enough to hear them? And wait, no, the thing didn't work, right? The earring is the
Yeah,
magic
you can do
field.
the hearing. No, there's you
Okay.
don't see a magic field or anything.
Oh, okay. I'll say, well, if you guys trip some alarm, we definitely hear it.
I didn't do it.
Mm.
I stepped on a wire. The
That's
door was
all.
already open. My apologies.
That's okay.
There's a lot of
There's
background
a
noise.
lot
coming
of
through.
background noise coming
Sorry.
from Lauren.
It's okay. It's
Don't really have a
little-
choice.
We're being taken on your kitchen adventure.
I don't really have a. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No, I'm not angry.
Anyway.
I look at the guard. Is this going to be a problem? We already spoke with the owner.
It should be. Yeah, you should be fine. You got the card.
Alright.
Okay, fine. Sorry.
We don't want to go back.
I want to pat Goff on the back. Sorry.
I step over the wire
Okay.
to go in and to look to actually peer into the vault more.
Okay.
I want to do a backflip over the wire.
Okay.
I'm
You
gonna
do a
follow.
backflip. Give me an acrobatics check.
Oh my god.
Oh shit! Not acrobatics.
It's a backflip. Yeah, so it's acrobatics.
In a full suit of armor.
You backflip over the wire, and it's a perfect 3-point landing. However,
Hell yeah.
as you land, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
What
Oh.
the fuck?
Well, hold on. I lost it. I only have one screen today. Oh, wisdom.
Yep.
Oh
As soon as you land and your feet touch the ground, there's a flash of light at your feet.
That isn't a
as-
saving throw, by the way. That's a check.
That's a check.
Well, I mean,
Still
It's
probably
still a
natural,
natural one,
yeah.
so it would have added your wisdom modifier. As you land, there's a flash of magical light at your feet, and you suddenly find your whole body seized up by paralyzation magic, as you have triggered a hold person glyph.
no!
Did I not trigger that?
Why?
No,
Why?
because
why,
you didn't
why
fucking
is no one-
backflip into the.
Why is no one
Oh.
telling us about these fucking traps?
Wait, so
They warned us!
did they?
Yeah, they said that there were magical anti-intrusion devices in the vault.
Okay,
Wait,
why
so-
is it not leading us through them? Hello?
You didn't ask. You just
Oh my
jumped.
God.
You backflipped into the
Well,
vault.
Goff already stepped over, so I was just backflipping.
So is there some kind of thing in place where if you walk in normally it doesn't trigger?
No, it's just luck that
Oh.
Mido happened to land on it.
I wave the magic detection wand.
So as you wave the magic detection wand, you are your eyes are almost immediately blasted out of your skull by just the sheer amount of magic that's in this room.
Oh my god.
There's magic on the floor, and you see very thin strands of magic that are from the Abjuration School, which you identify as being alarm spells. You see a number of additional pieces of magic on the floor that also look like Abjuration spells. You assume these are probably invisible warding glyphs that have been stored with some sort of spell within. Gazing up into the corners, you spot what appear to be divination magic as perhaps scrying sensors.
Do we see them on the wall?
Ellen, you do not, but Hiraeth, you do.
Hooray, not there.
I'm not there.
You are in.
No, in the
Yes.
yeah.
Oh right. Oh you.
You're
Oh
looking,
you see.
you're looking through the. You're looking
Right.
through the. Yeah,
There's a
in
looking
fact.
glass.
Yeah, in fact.
So
In fact, Ellen, as you're looking at one of these scrying orbs, you see a divination magic, and then nearby, also kind of invisible, you see what looks to be some sort of illusion magic. Furthermore, you see the entire pile of gold and platinum, everything just seems absolutely coated in illusion magic.
wait.
Cool.
Wait. So wait. From my understanding, Ellen and Hooray are looking through the scrying screen, so to speak,
Oh,
Yes.
right.
from the
Yes.
teller's booth
Yes,
or
and
wherever. And
Ellen
so,
does not. Ellen just sees the vault. Hiraeth, you
sees
see
things
your
as
friends.
we- Sorry, go ahead.
Hiraeth, you see your allies within that vault walking around.
Okay.
Actually, and you see Mito paralyzed.
Yeah.
Hello?
Wait, so hold on. I'll get to that. I'll help you in a second. This is time stop right now. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So Haraith sees us. Ellen does not. Ellen sees some
Correct.
kind of doctored thing. Haraith also sees that all the gold and stuff in there is an illusion.
No, Hiraeth doesn't see that. What? Well, actually, Hiraeth, let me
I
finish.
have true seeing, so I see literally
finish.
everything as it is.
You can't, but from your vision, from the colors in the scrying image, you can't make out anything about the pile of money. What I was
Okay.
saying, however, is because it's sort of like from a bird's eye view, kind of like not a bird's eye view. It's like in a corner, high up.
Security cameras.
Yeah,
Placement.
security camera essentially, but you can't see a fine image. Essentially, you can't really see from that perspective what's going on. It just looks like piles of gold to you, but from or piles of money. From Sissel's perspective,
Oh, Sissel.
having used detect magic, you see all of the piles of money seem to be glowing with illusion magic.
Okay.
And there's also a bit of illusion magic that seems to be interspersed with the divination magic of the scrying orb.
Hey, Hiraeth.
Hey.
Actually, hey guys, are you in the vault yet?
Yeah, they're right
Oh,
there.
yeah, there's magic fucking
What do you mean? They're
everywhere.
not there.
They're right there.
No, they're not.
You don't see them.
No.
Looks like we have another problem here.
They fucking
Looks like
looped
it-
the feed with a fake image.
Oh my god.
Fucking.
Oh my god.
Fucking crime drama
can I
shit.
just ask, what investigators did they hire? Because how do you miss this?
Hey, can I talk when I'm paralyzed?
No.
I can. Okay. Wait. Does either restoration get rid of paralysis? Hold on. Let me check. I don't actually remember.
Well, Lauren, you can make another saving throw if you wish at this point to try to break through free of it.
If I want. Don't feel like it.
Well, every
can-
every 6 seconds you can attempt to read.
Oh, I can gate.
No.
I after she falls down, I guess I just go, and I bend down and I tap 2 fingers on her like clavicle and use lesser restoration. That cleanses paralysis. So
Yeah. So, Mito, you suddenly feel yourself able to move once more.
Ugh.
You actually didn't fall on the
Fuck.
ground. You were just paralyzed in the upright position.
Hiraeth,
Yeah,
did-
just she's shaking it off.
well then okay.
Ugh.
Hey, Hiraeth, did you say that you could see us?
Yeah, I can.
Don't.
Okay.
She's using her special eyes.
Music. Music. Sorry, I just ate a piece of Reese's Pieces. It's like stuck in my throat.
Oh no!
No.
Hit it on an investigation.
You're right, they're
Death by
just
the
shoveling
pieces.
Reese's Pieces into her mouth.
There's like
Anyway.
a little bowl right there at the teller's ear.
Yeah, I use True Seeing, so I suppose I can bypass whatever magic they've cast on this spell, but it's fooling Ellen.
Do you see a
Makes
bunch
it
of
seem
gold
like-
around us?
I do, but that looks normal to me. I just see you guys in the gold.
Okay, I see illusion
Yep.
magic over the scrying sensors in the corners, but the gold is also covered in illusion magic, and I don't know what that is yet. By the way, be careful when you stand out to this room because there's traps fucking everywhere.
Hey, Sissel, can you go
touch
first?
the gold?
I'm going to do my best to
Don't blow yourself up.
very careful. I'll try not to. Very
Okay.
carefully navigate around the war glyphs and the alarm spells, and I'm gonna try and touch some of the gold or something that looks like
okay.
it's covered in illusion magic.
You touch it. It seems solid. It seems like cold hard metal. You pick up some of the gold coins and some of the platinum coins. They feel real in your hand.
Hey, Sissel,
I
do you
do a-
have dispel magic?
I don't, but Hiraeth, if you can get down
I
here.
do.
Can
I will make my way over.
Can I do an Arcana check on the illusion magic stuff?
For what purpose? What do you wish to do with to
Just
discover?
kind of discover what the spell is actually doing.
Oh, sure. Give me an Arcana check.
Fuck, man, come on! I'm white. I'm intelligent. Damn it!
Unfortunately, you don't really get a sense of what it's precisely doing. You know that based on what Sissel has said, that there is illusion magic covering much of this money, but based on just looking at it, it looks like standard gold and platinum pieces.
Looks normal to me.
It looks normal to me too, but I'm still seeing magic.
I'll
I would
accompany
like-
Hiraeth.
Yeah, I will walk down.
Okay, so you head up to the second floor and you make your way to join your companions in the vault. I'm assuming Sissel probably points out where the various glyphs are, so you don't step on any of them.
Careful.
Yeah,
Yep.
hopefully. Well, I have True Seeing, so I think I can see
Oh
them.
yeah.
Hiraeth,
Sure,
as
Alan.
you step into the vault and gaze at the piles of money, you do see some gold, but the majority of what you're seeing looks like copper pieces.
Ah.
Oh.
So, is Sissel still holding some?
Yes,
What are they?
they're copper pieces.
What you have in your hand here, Sissel? I'm going to pick one up and kind of like flick it up in my hand and catch it. This is a copper. This is not a gold or a platinum.
I
Hmm.
see. Is all
If
of
I
this
if
copper?
I like pick one up and like weigh it in my hand, does it feel like way too light for gold?
Make a perception check.
There's-
Perception.
There's gold and is there like some platinum mixed in too, or is it mostly just gold and copper?
It's mostly just gold. As you're kind of looking over the room, the majority of the mounds and mounds of money that's in here are in fact copper pieces.
That's an
they're-
18.
Uh,
I know it's a coin, so it's like
it's a coin. You
It's
really
a
can't get a sense of if it's lighter or heavier really from a glance. You're not as familiar with that as.
I only rolled a
other
one.
So,
Oh my god.
Hiraeth, as you do spot not platinum, but you do see some gold and silver in here, but a much more modest amount of it, as if this is probably Anna's real assets.
Okay. There's some gold and silver mixed in, but vast majority of the piles you see is all copper. They're trying to make it seem like it's more than it is.
How do you miss
So-
this?
Why?
They must not have somebody with this wonderful spell that I have. I'm gonna do
Hey,
a
Wraith, you should be a detective.
I do not understand. Why would they try to cover? Why would they try to fool others into thinking that there is more money than there actually is?
To back up
Because
the
it backs up.
residence.
That's what
You both
back-
answered at the same time.
Oops.
What'd you say?
It-
Someone go first.
Who?
you.
Red first.
Everyone.
Okay.
I don't know. No one's going. I just
God.
want to hear what you said.
Not first.
Voice delay is horrible. Because it backs up their evidence that Anna's been getting money from suspicious places.
Okay, then what did Horaith and Ellen say? I want
Basically,
I was just
that,
saying
yeah.
backing it up, yeah.
to. Okay. I see.
The three of us in like some weird chorus all say that simultaneously.
So they want it to be believed that Anna is taking money from raw bad sources.
Yes. Taking money from and giving money to the Crimson Harbingers.
But it seems as though that's been modified as well because Ellen thinks that some of the signatures in the ledgers are
I know they've been forged.
I know they are. I trust you. I just couldn't
If
tell.
Ellen's eyes could flash, they would. I've seen it.
Ellen's just like, I know.
I also question
Yeah.
what Ellen does. How is this missed? Was there no one who could perform the same ability as Horaith?
That's possible, but it's also possible. I mean, we can't disregard that the people that are investigating might either be inept or maybe they want to see somebody there wants to see Anna take the fall for this as well.
Perhaps the ones investigating the vault are under the command of this Grand Master, you say?
It's possible.
One more thing I would like to see is if they have recordings of what the scrying orbs have.
You said that you could see us, but Ellen could not, so a normal person would see a fake. There is much evidence here. How do we grab hold of this evidence and use it in a form that can help?
Simple. Let's grab a handful of copper coins. Heraith can make sure we grab copper coins and not
Yeah.
actual gold pieces, and then we present them in. Wait.
How?
No, we can't do that. Okay,
I do not understand how coins
How
will
does
help.
this work?
I mean, I could be like, hey, look at this, and then dispel magic.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I was thinking, but also like, what's the protocol for gathering and holding evidence in Arcadia? Falk?
You probably can't take evidence away from a crime scene.
Yeah.
It would have to be taken and documented by the city guard.
Okay, so I'm just gonna call one of the city guard in, and
Okay.
then have Hanaith point out which coins.
Well, maybe
to
we should
collect
get somebody
as
a little bit
evidence.
more useful than city guard. Maybe the owner of the bank. Maybe
Well,
not.
well, it's the city guard are the ones who have jurisdiction,
Yeah.
though, right?
I'm just thinking about showing all this stuff to like just a random dude, and he's like, "Whoa, okay." But, I mean,
Well,
I can
no,
do that.
because like, city guard will have to, like, we're an investigator on this, so they have to
Yeah.
basically document whatever evidence we tell them is important, right?
Mhm.
I do not understand what all of this is. This prosecution defense and all of this. I don't understand, but is it not possible that we have learned the city guard is largely responsible for what is going for investigating Anna? So would the city guard have investigated this place before us?
They were supposed to, yes.
Is it possible that they are a risky sort? I worry that they are not fully to be trusted.
Insight check on the city guard.
I mean, he hasn't said anything.
I know.
He's just guarding a hallway right now.
We could maybe, well, we'll probably have to talk to those detectives from the city guard anyway. At some
Yeah,
point.
we would. We should not take things from the crime scene.
No, I don't know much about investigations, but I don't think that's a good idea.
No, but this definitely does need to be documented. Um, I'm gonna use surface level thoughts on the city guard as I call him in,
Okay.
and then just like Hide, we have some. Could you please collect some of these coins? Hide, point out a couple coins that he can collect as
Yeah.
and document and store as evidence.
Okay. So you pick up a handful of coins and you present it to the guard. It's kind of, he looks like he's a very young looking man. Seems like he's maybe just fresh out of the academy and he's just on guard duty essentially.
Nerd.
So
So like, this would be the normal protocol to follow, right? With
Yeah.
evidence.
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so like he seems like he intends to register it and evidence and like seems
Mhm.
like he's on the
Oh,
up
did
and
you
up.
actually show him like you dispelled the magic on it? Did you?
Uh,
Do we want to show him?
Well, we either do one of two things: we catalog the evidence and we do a reveal then, or we can try to get this guy as a witness, and he will witness me dispelling.
Yes. Dispel the magic on one of the coins, leave the other coin undispelled.
So I'll like kind of call the guy over and like kind of show these two
Yes.
platinum pieces and like flip them over my hands, and then I'll dispel magic on like one of them to.
His eyes go wide like he's just witnessed like this incredible street magic.
These
David
coins.
Blaine shit.
I'm just gonna explain. Say much of the coins in here have illusion magic, much like this. Here, the coins that she's giving you. One of them is the one she dispelled. Another one is one still with illusion magic in it. Could you please get this into evidence and registered?
Would you also-
Of course, right away.
Would you also
Thank
be willing to stand witness for what you saw?
If they want to call me, then sure.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much. And like, surface thoughts. He seems on the up and up.
You just hear him think, oh great, this is gonna be so much pip work. Detective Blakemore's gonna be pissed. How did we miss this?
Oh, yeah.
Aw.
Oh.
I'm so sorry, but I know this is going to be a lot of paperwork for you, but there's that one more thing that I'm going to need to point out.
Mm-hmm. What's that?
Come with me, and then actually, no, there's no way we can point out the illusion magic.
No, it's
in the-
invisible.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna. Do you guys want to come with us, or would you stay? Do you guys want to stay here?
I'll stay here as an example.
No, I mean,
what's happening?
oh,
I'm
wait.
confused.
I'm just gonna show him the ledger.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
How would he
show
be able to
the-
tell the difference? Oh, the date. The
No,
date.
the date.
That's-
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were referring to something
Okay.
else. Yeah.
So you bring him
Yeah.
down to the teller's booth and you
I
show him
bring him
the.
down to the teller's booth and I show him the date and say, well, as this is one example of a forged transaction in the ledgers, and normally people won't be able to tell, but, and I show him the date discrepancy, the forged signatures, this is a forged signature, this is not. I know you probably may not be able to see the difference, but if you can see in this specific transaction, the date is off by one day, is wrong. It's different between these two ledgers. It's fairly. This will also need to be in evidence.
Okay. I mean,
Also,
maybe it's just a clerk made an error, but okay.
also one other thing. Did we leave anybody in the vault still looking around, or did we all go back up?
That's what I asked.
That's why I
I'm
wanted
still
to
in the
stay
vault.
there.
I'm going
yeah.
to.
I'm still there.
I'm going to point to the scrying screen. Do you see
Okay.
anybody in there?
He looks up at the scrying screen. No?
That's the vault that all our companions are still in.
Ah, jeez. Okay. Ah, Gerald's gonna be in so much trouble. Okay, I'll write this all down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So he heads off and he starts he flips out like a little pen and paper, like a pad.
Like a little
basically.
burner notebook.
Yeah, and he starts like taking some notes down as he walks outside to converse with maybe a superior officer or so on.
All right, I think we were also going to ask if the scrying orbs had any recordings.
I suppose we would have to ask the owner of the bank.
The owner, yeah.
Do we see him around?
He's still outside. He's talking to one of the guards.
All right, I guess we'll approach him.
He looks up at you as you approach, and he's just this big smile on his face, but you could still clearly tell he's got beads of sweat around his
He's
forehead.
nervous, yeah.
And he says, "So you finished your investigation? Everything's good, right?"
There's just well, yes, we just want to approach one more avenue of inquiry. It doesn't have anything really to do with your security system. Well, do you happen to record what goes on in the scrying orbs?
You mean historical?
Yes.
Yes, of course. We keep records dating back 6 months.
Wonderful. Do you mind if we could see? Okay. The Medici transaction would have been how long ago?
Probably like 3 months ago.
Okay. So, could
Maybe
we
2. Well, 3 months. 3 months. Yeah.
could we look up something that happened about 3 months ago?
Sure.
For-
I keep them in the back in my office. We can look at them there.
Okay. Thank you so much.
He goes back inside the building. He leads you all through a series of narrow hallways that lead
I leave
into
the vault now. Cecil says through the earring.
Oh, yes.
What's happening? BRB, what's going on?
I'm
we're
going to
looking
the
at
office to
security
see-
footage.
Oh, okay.
So he brings you through a series of narrow, winding hallways to a back office. It's just a simple desk and a very nice upholstered red chair. And he goes underneath his desk and he pulls out what looks to be like a little circular device that he places on the table. And he says, We've enchanted this to hold a number of recordings. So he places it on the desk, and he starts waving his hands over it and pressing a few little some of the concentric circles on it as he starts parsing through a number of recordings. He focuses in on Anna's vault. What date are you looking for?
I give him the date
Okay.
of the
So-
Medici's.
You give him the
Yeah.
date of the Medici transaction. He
Yeah.
rolls it back to then, and you look at you see an image of the interior of the vault. There seems to be far less money in here. As in orders of magnitude less money.
Mhm.
But nothing else. You don't notice anything else unusual about this, other than, the amount of gold and silver that seems to be present from this image is sort of a very modest amount, similar to what you expect Anna might actually have.
Mhm. Can we forward to and see when the money accumulates?
Okay. He starts kind of fast forwarding, and as he's parsing through these 3 months going forward, it's still the same small amount of money until you get to the about 3 days prior to today. At which point, the scrying orb image flickers a little bit, and then you see this massive amount of gold in there.
Oh wait, can you go back? Like, can you go back a bit? Did we?
Yeah. He rewinds a little bit. Hiraeth,
Yes.
as you're staring at this image, at about as you're staring at this image of the interior of the vault, you see the heavy mithril vault door open slightly, and a shadowed form, which is low to the ground, seeming to disable the alarm trap. And then this person moves into the room and disables a number of the glyphs on the floor. You see them with a flash of light from their hand disable one after another after another. At which point you see another 5 figures enter the room.
And this was
you're the
doing
only one who's
something on the ground?
No, this
Okay,
person was
sorry.
essentially like very low to the ground. They looked like they
okay.
were casting like a dispel magic
Alright.
on all of these glyphs. And as they go inside, there's now about a half a dozen people in this room. They all appear to be clad in dark black leathers, face masks. Hiraeth's the only one who's seeing this, because to everyone else, you're just seeing this illusory image of the gold. But to you, Hiraeth, you're seeing them carting in massive, almost like wheelbarrows full of copper coins, which they are dumping in here. One of the individuals who very early on, the one who seemed to have dispelled all the magic, very early on went up to the scrying orb and seemed to cast a programmed illusion over it.
Mm-hmm.
As he gets close to it, you see that he's a gnomish man. His whole body is still clad in these, from head to toe in black leathers. You can't see his face; it's covered in a cowl. But what you do notice, there is a bit of skin that is showing from right underneath where the cowl meets the rest of his armor, and you see what appears to be a tattoo. You see
What is that?
it looks to be a circle with an X through it. Very quickly, this group seems to move with with a lot of professionalism and efficiency. They quickly move all of the money in here. After which, the same gnomish man that you saw goes about reactivating all of these wards and the alarm traps. At which point, they all exit the vault. You see the vault door close and be re-enabled.
While all this is going on, Ellen is just like, okay. Now, the sums that in the ledgers say that this money was here long before 2 days ago. Do you think it's possible to have a copy of this vault's record made for evidence?
You look over at Vivaldi, and he just looks absolutely flabbergasted by this whole thing, and he says he sort of nods absentmindedly. He says, "Oh, yeah, we can do that."
Did he just see the goal appear, or did Hiraeth also explain to him what she was seeing?
As
He
far
just
as
saw
we-
the gold appear.
As far as none of us know what it saw, so we're just
I'm
like,
just- I'm wondering
Hiraeth's
how
problem right
much
now is that she can't prove it.
Well, okay,
yeah.
so he just saw the gold.
Same.
He just saw the money just appear out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So that's still ridiculous. Okay.
It's still like not good.
Yeah.
All right.
Are we all together again?
Yeah, I thought we were.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Vivaldi, was it? I am not familiar with all of this going on, the rules, but if necessary, would you be willing to speak about what this oddity?
He seems to be almost like taking sharp, deep breaths at this point, like he's hyperventilating a little bit.
I place my hand gently on his shoulder.
your large hand on his tiny shoulder.
It's a gentle, large hand, okay?
I
Yeah.
know, but it's like it probably covers both of his shoulders.
Listen, you can't enter this into evidence. You can't. It'll ruin me.
If we don't, someone innocent could die.
I get it. I do. But if there's a lot of wealthy and powerful people who have their money in here, and if they think that we're not as safe, it's not just my life. It's not my livelihood. They could pull all of their money out. There could be economic crisis.
These are some very well-trained, dangerous people that we're dealing with. I don't think this necessarily reflects upon your own shortcomings. I think anybody else could have been fooled. You could-
Absolutely.
They're not the
There's
kind of-
that.
Honestly, the fact that they pulled it off with you means they can pull it off with anybody.
Well, maybe not me, but
I raised my eyebrow. I hope.
sorry.
This building, and you are no special exception, Vivaldi. The Chancellor, a woman looking out for the best interests of the city, life is in danger. That takes precedence.
I will keep in mind, though, it took people like us to be able to find these things. Not even the city guard has the equipment necessary to have seen what we have seen. So
Or they were not thorough, or they were tricked.
it's either these things. So
Although
this was no mean feat.
I nudge Goff and say, "Give us some credit. We can be fairly competent ourselves."
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Hurry, make a persuasion check.
Okie dokie.
And add add Goff's wisdom bonus to that.
Yes, yes.
Oh yeah!
What's
4.
Goff participated.
Plus 4, in addition to whatever else you got.
25?
Yes.
Hell, that's better than 24.
You see him. He's still hyperventilating a little bit, but you see his breath grow a little bit more steady. He says, "Okay, okay, yeah, I get it. It's the right thing to do. I just, all right, fine."
Thank you.
Good man.
I sort of gently pat his back.
I loosen up a little bit again after getting kind of mad at him. I say, "Listen to me. I am not from here, but I can tell that any level of security, caution, organization can be tampered with in this city. You are not alone. Others have been taken advantage of. You just must do the right thing so that it does not get worse."
I'm going to have a conversation with the board of directors. So if you'll excuse me.
Of course.
Very slowly, almost like 1,000-yard stare, gets up from his chair and starts moving out of the room.
Oh, my buddy.
I mean,
I'm going to have to come up with a line about how he called me a small-time inspector, aren't I?
did the bank guy call you that?
No, the lawyer did when I first gave him
Oh,
my...
yeah! You were waiting for that.
I was.
I remember the first thing you said, you was like, "I'm gonna find some shit that those fucking other inspectors never found," and you fucking immediately did.
I love it.
You even saw like almost impossible signature to see that was forged. Like you're way ahead of them. Absolutely.
So great. The best.
Yeah. Don't fuck with
Amazing.
Ellen.
Don't fuck with Ellen. Maharia.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with a mom.
Don't fuck with a mom.
Mom strength.
Mom strength. Mom
Well,
core.
strength is very powerful.
Big
Okay,
mom
so
energy.
if that's all the clues we could have gathered here, where do we go next?
What time is it now?
We should probably go get the deed for our establishment, right? And
Yes.
at least
You have it in the
We
back
have
vault.
it.
Oh wait, shit, we have it in the
Oh,
bag.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
never
we were
mind.
talking
Yeah.
about how we should probably maybe like consider
Well-
someplace else to keep our important shit.
Yeah, but where?
We don't have time to do that right now.
Not right now, but in the future.
Yeah, we have the deed. Uh, excuse me. And that was supposed to be evidence proving that Anna didn't. What was the deed proving?
They
I
were
can't
trying to say that she gave us all of our money and then our house, and that we were under her control because of that.
But
No, they were
what
trying to
hap-
say that she gave us the money and the house in return for finding the keys.
Yeah.
But we got it before we even knew what the keys were about. But how do we prove? So the deed proves when we were given ownership. But how do we prove? Sorry, how do we prove? I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
How do we prove that?
When she talked to us about the keys.
Is there like a date or something on the deed? I don't even know what's on
Yeah,
it.
there's
mean,
a date. Yeah.
I'm assuming I don't know remember who put it in there, but one of us can pull it out.
I mean, I'm sure that date is before we brought back one of the keys.
long before. Well,
Oh, that's
also
true.
like,
Oh.
it's also that the deed was in response to, was in thanks for the whole like solving who murdered the chancellor, the previous chancellor, and we can prove that because Warren Vidic was the
Warren
one who-
Vidic is from Assassin's Creed.
Oh my god.
Warren Victor Warren, the head prosecutor.
I have not. Okay, I haven't consumed Assassin's Creed content in years.
What is so? Wait, so didn't they accuse her of killing the chancellor,
They're
or having? They
they're
accused her of having
involved.
him killed.
having him killed. They're alleging that that ties into the 3 eyewitnesses who are going to
But-
say that she's the Grandmaster and that like they're referencing like some journals that Emma Beaumont had where he referred to like My Lady and saying basically that's because Emma Beaumont is the one who killed the former chancellor.
Yeah, and the My Lady was referring to the Lady of the Spinning Dark. I think.
Was
I think.
Not
I don't know.
necessarily.
Maybe
No,
not.
I think
You never
I mean-
you never figure that out. You never figure out who that was referring to. But they're going to allege it's Anna.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm having my problem where like there's a lot of information going around, and I get all foggy in my head. I'm trying to think clearly. So we just learned about a lot of shit that's evidence in the bank. Can you help me out? Can you like give me some other things that were given as leads, or can someone else tell me? I'm clouding out really bad right now. I can't think clearly.
Okay.
Can someone just remind me of other leads that we have, or other things we can investigate?
We've looked
'Cause
at the
I'm-
money. We've looked at the house, the deed. So I would say
Okay.
probably next we need to go speak with these so-called witnesses that are claiming for her to be the Scribe
Lauren.
Master.
I can hear everything, Lauren.
I'm sorry.
Do you have
Um,
your mute button?
Yeah, I guess I can just mute. Sorry.
It's okay.
Well, we have to wait before we can go talk to the witnesses, right? Isn't that what we're waiting to
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
So we still have time until then. So we have the deed to prove that we were given that as basically as like a reward long before we even messed with the keys.
Do we want to talk to Victor Warren?
Would he have any?
Well, he'll know that we were not given. He'll remember that he was the one who gave us the deed in the
That's true.
first place.
That's true. I think that might be a good idea. Where would they find him?
He would be at the prosecutor's office down in the Civic District.
He's not the prosecutor on this case, right?
No.
Oh, thank
Oh, okay. I was thinking he was because he kept keep calling him the prosecutor.
He's the head prosecutor. He's like basically like the
Oh,
district
but he's
attorney
not.
kind of.
He's not the one that's against Anna
He's,
in this
he's not
case.
the actual one trying the case.
Okay.
The one
Okay,
who's trying
so-
the case was the dwarf that you saw that had all the gold coins braided into his beard.
I wonder
What
if
a
they were
fuckhead.
copper.
Okay.
No time like the
Sorry.
present.
Do we want to talk to Warren Vinnick, or do we want to snoop some more? Oh, I said it again. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Do you want to talk to Victor?
well,
I swear I
You
have
know, all
not
those
considered-
wars, all
He-
those Vics.
he
I know.
he helped us get where we live, so he could help prove that we.
Actually, what would sorry, Falk? What would the the protocol be for registering a witness in a case?
You'd have to go through the defense attorney.
Oh, okay. So we'd have
He
We
would.
should
he would
talk
take-
to him.
He's gonna take care of all the details. I mean, you're not gonna fucking like question witnesses or anything. You're just basically like helping him out.
So
yeah.
how do we get
So
that
if we
one
want-
guard, and how do we get that him and Vivaldi as witnesses?
You gotta go talk to the attorney.
We got to talk to him. Okay.
So could we also get Victor as a witness? I don't know anything about legal
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, we'll tell him.
He's a prosecutor, so part of the office. So like, could that even work?
Yeah, he's a witness. Like
I don't know if there's restrictions on things. Like if there's anything.
there shouldn't. Well, not that. Would there be a restriction on it on him
You suspect
being a
it
witness?
might. You suspect that because it's tied to his office, this whole thing, that there might be some issues with him testifying.
True.
At the very least, even if he was willing to do so, the attorney who's on the case, for the prosecutors on the case, would probably object to it and try to prevent it from happening.
So is it not worth trying to talk to him about
worth it's worth bringing up with the defense attorney. I think, just as a possible avenue, he can choose to take it if he wishes to. If not, then well, at least he has the information. Ultimately, it's the defense attorney's job to put the case together. I know we're used to having a bit more control over saving somebody's life.
Well, yes, but this is a world I do not understand even more than I normal. I am very lost, but I am trusting your judgment.
Am I roboting for anyone else? Oh,
It's everyone.
shit.
Hold
It's
on.
everyone.
Everybody
this is-
but
this
Tom
is
is
foul.
roboting.
No, I hear it.
I hear it for
I hear it
everyone.
with everyone.
I hear
Hold
her.
on.
I only hear it for
Uh-oh.
Hello?
Hello?
hello.
There we go.
I have to restart the robot.
Oh,
Oh.
sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fucking Discord. Anyway, go on. Continue.
What? Who was talking?
I think Mel was.
Alan.
I don't remember what Ellen was saying, but it was probably something heartfelt.
It was about. This isn't. Tom's or Goff said something about this is beyond anything. This is a whole different
I was just
world or something.
I was saying
and
that
then-
I don't get this all the law stuff, the court stuff, all these things, all these terms. Goff is expressing that he doesn't really understand all of it, so he's just putting faith into Ellen and everyone
Yeah.
else because he doesn't get it. He doesn't know what this is all about.
Well, you guided us through your world. I'll guide you through mine.
Let me know when I can hit something.
Finally, all of those crime dramas have come to use that I. Because I'm just gonna headcanon she's watching all kinds of shit on Skydor. She's watching.
going
Is that like
to
Netflix
plays.
from Arcadia?
Yeah.
Oh, Luma is absolutely into those. Sometimes
Law and
they're
Order
not real, but
Arcadian unit.
Hell yeah.
Oh
So
my god.
there was an issue about talking to Victor. How do we resolve this?
So we're looking into talking to Victor to get like proof for how we got our house, but they're going to try to block it.
Yeah.
they will likely try to block it.
They'll probably assert that like there's a conflict of interest or something in having him testify.
I mean that's possibly true. He
But-
does know us. This
But
kind
he
of
has the
friendly.
information. He was the one who helped.
Is there
What is this
anybody else?
conflict of
Anything else?
interest? He is the one who.
It basically means you can't have your buddy come vouch for you, because obviously they're going to do that no matter what.
The idea is that because he knows us personally, he might be a little biased in his testimony. But well, he also knows Anna personally, so he might be biased in his testimony.
I don't like this system.
It's a
Is
big
there
one.
someone else that we don't know that works with him that could have helped with, I don't know, the land ownership? That's a thing, correct? They.
Mhm. Is it only his signature on the deed?
Yeah.
Bollocks.
It's his signature, and then I forget who among you signed it.
All
But-
of
I think
us,
I probably did, but
I think a
Roscoe's
number of you
probably-
did. Yeah, I think actually all of you did.
Yeah.
Just put your signature to it.
Well, what else can we learn and bring back to what was his name? I already forgot. That's his name.
Edward Leovan.
To Leovan. What else is that we can find?
There
Did you-
was.
Did you share what you saw, Wraith?
Oh yeah, Hiraeth, you have your specialize on, right?
yes.
Did you have them on while we were looking at the tampered tape?
Yeah.
No, what would they be called? They're not tapes. The
Uh,
tampered
Recording.
recording.
So the thing about that is that it's a gnomish man sneaked in, disarmed all the alarms, and a team of did you say it was like either a dozen or half dozen?
half a dozen.
A team of half a dozen or so people came in and then moved in all of the money. That was how it appears, and I couldn't see any discerning features about any of them because they were all hooded, but I do know that the gnome man had a tattoo on his neck it was a circle with a line through it.
With a X through it.
Oh, okay. A circle with an X through it.
Hmm.
Well, that's
Oh.
interesting.
Does that symbol sound like anything to me that I know?
Tic-tac-toe.
No, you've never heard of that.
The
Nope.
only trouble though is that the magic I'm using is fairly advanced. I'm not sure if something lower level would work the same. I'm not sure how to prove what I see.
I wonder if someone official has the same spell.
Oh no wood.
I imagine there must be someone at the academy who can cast a spell like this.
That has to be, right?
Hope so.
The whole thing is advancing magic. Advancing magic, sorry. My accent
Maybe we
is
can
wrong.
ask the Leovan man if it is possible to have someone who works with this case, as you call it, to clarify what Horaith sees.
Hiraeth, maybe give them the name of the spell you used?
I could do
Just... Alright. Alright. Now, do we want to return and discuss our findings with the lawyer?
I mean, we're going to see him tonight.
Yes, but, we are. He does have his work cut out for him. But it would probably be best, if he were informed. He's working on a pretty tight schedule, and these things might take some time to not, I guess, process.
You might want
Some
to
of
put
these things he might want to follow up on,
You
and
might
then
want to put in
that'll take
requests
time.
for experts, like them finding someone who could use true seeing, or someone who can
Mhm.
see if the signature is forged.
Agreed. Someone someone unbiased in the academy. I'm sure they have someone. We, either way, these are items that he will want to know of. So, I guess we head.
We should get on that then.
Yeah.
Are you heading back
I'm
to
just
the law
I'm
offices?
just thinking. Sorry. I'm
Wait.
just thinking. Okay. Going through all of what we have gotten so far. We have the tampered tape. We have the illusion coins. We have the inconsistency in the ledger with the forged signature. Pollux! Sorry, I just realized I wanted to see who came and did the transaction with on the tape. Wait, are there scrying orbs only in the vaults, or also where the pillars are?
There are other scrying orbs for the lobby area and so forth.
Okay. Okay. But poor Vivaldi is off. Are we still in his office?
If you
Did
want to
he
be.
ever leave?
No,
Yeah,
you
I don't.
didn't. You're still
Okay.
there.
Yeah, I don't think we left.
Okay. So hey, does someone want to help me figure out this orb? I'm gonna see if I can find the footage.
Make an Arcana check.
Do you
Arcana.
need help with that?
Please?
Sure, let me see.
I can help
Um,
too if you need me to.
All right. Whoever wants to make the roll, make it with advantage, because I believe both Mido and Sissel have proficiency in that.
We're both hit.
I don't.
Not
Actually,
I
you
have
don't.
proficiency. I have proficiency.
Okay. So you're the only one who has proficiency. Never mind. So just a regular roll then.
Does Heraith have proficiency?
No.
Oh.
Wow, only
I
one
don't know
person
why
in this
I
whole-
don't.
In Arcana?
Yeah.
No,
I don't know
I've
why
only
I
I've only
don't,
got
so-
jack of all trades, so I don't
Okay.
have anything special.
Okay. So Sissel, I guess, make a regular roll.
Okay. A regular roll or a roll with advantage?
No, no advantage.
No,
nobody else
nobody
has.
has
Can't
proficiency.
assist you.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, that's a. Let me bring up my character sheet again because I think I closed it out for some reason. That's a 13 plus 6, so
19.
yeah.
Okay. It doesn't take you that long to figure out how this item works. You rotate a few of the concentric circles on the item in order to adjust which image is showing, and then you adjust a few other controls on it in order to choose what time it displays. So you switch it to the lobby area. What time? At the time that they also moved all that money in?
Yes.
Okay. You see, or you see nothing really. You see one of the security guards, the night guards, on duty. He seems to be pacing up and down the lobby. After a moment, you see him frown and look toward the entrance of the building, and then rush toward the front of the building, drawing what looks to be a stick of some sort, like a club. And as you adjust what screen is showing in order to see, an image of the street, you see him rush outside and start confronting a man who is just out on the road, who looks like a very dirty-looking vagrant man who's potentially drunk. Hiraeth, however, when you look at this man, you see one of the men clad in black.
Okay.
Okay, this looks like just some weird.
Yeah.
Do you see anything here?
Really? He looks like he's one of the men in black, one of the men who moved all the money.
Of course.
Okay.
As this is occurring, you switch back to the lobby scene. To everyone else, it looks like a completely empty room. Hiraeth, to you, you see a number of people moving in, the same half dozen that you saw before.
Guys who look
And-
invisible.
What? What did you say?
Hello?
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 Can you hear me?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just asking, like, it's not like they're disguised as anybody else. It's like they're invisible, so everybody else doesn't see anything.
Yes. It's
Okay.
similar. You imagine it's similar to what you do with your major illusion to disguise yourself in your group. So these people move in, and a couple of them make their way to the unlocked teller's booth because this guard has left it unlocked. And they move inside, and you see a couple of them poring over one of the ledgers that's in there. You see a couple more go into the back hallways. Sissel, you see nothing, so you don't know where they're going. You don't even see them.
Nope.
But you do, Hirith, you do notice that two of them have broken off, and they're heading toward the back hallways where the office that you're now in is, where allegedly one of the ledgers was kept.
Hede, what are you seeing?
Alex? Alex might be having internet disconnect. I heard a little bit of robotic in their voice before the last said. Yeah, I think their internet went out.
Okay.
Well,
Well, we'll just assume that Hirith explained to you all what she saw.
Okay.
Okay. Cecil, can you switch to...
sorry.
For clarification, so the ones that had the ledger that had a different date.
Which one was the ledger?
Which one was the outlier? Which one was the? Whoa.
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 Hello.
Hello?
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 Alex, all our voices are coming from your microphone.
Wow.
Oh god, that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, that was like a demon.
Oh my god.
The power of Christ compels you.
Sounded like the Tasmanian devil.
Final boss. Holy shit.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Okay.
That sucks.
Oh,
Okay.
Well-
wow.
All right. So what are we doing?
I was trying to clarify which of the ledgers, in terms of the location it's stored in, had the discrepancy.
The one that is off premises.
So the one that was off premises is the one that differed from the other two.
Yes.
Okay. Let me write that.
I'm sorry, I'm still recovering from that absolute heart attack. Ugh.
In awe.
Did you guys know you're not supposed to shake compressed air?
Yes.
I did not know
I
that.
do it all the time.
Well, I was
I do
just
it all the
shaking
time.
it. I was shaking it, got really cold, and I looked at the label. It said, "Do not shake. Do not shake."
I think you have the same kind that I use at work, and it says "Do not shake" in that manner, and I shake it anyway because I'm a rebel.
Oh
yeah,
my
it's
god.
melting in my hand.
So what? Okay. So what do you want to do, all of you? What are you doing right now?
Can you
I want to punch something.
look at I wanted to look at have Sissel follow the people that went to actually Sissel, can you look at the date of the Medici transaction, date and time? I want to
Sure.
see who did it.
Give me a minute. And I start doing it.
What are you looking at specifically?
The lobby. I want to see
Okay.
who
You look
who
at the
came in and
lobby.
made the
There's
transaction.
nobody. It just looks like you scroll through the entire day. Nothing stands out to you.
What about in Horatio doesn't see anything?
No.
And this is the day that Medici was given a bunch of money.
Yes. Ellen, from your perusal of the ledger, it looks like
No
not
one was
much.
actually there.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of these historical records were forged and they were fresh, like they were
Oh.
added recently.
So they're trying to draw a connection to Medici
Yes,
that didn't actually happen. Okay.
correct.
Well, this I think this specific day would very much help. Uh, if only we could get a copy of this. We'll tell the lawyer. He'll get us a copy. I feel so bad. We're just like
we're just piling work onto this dude.
Well,
Associates.
this is the system they've created, is it not? They've brought this on themselves.
I
They don't
I
want us
didn't
to
say that in
carry it.
character.
Oh.
Oh,
Sorry.
it's okay.
Okay, so
Meldrick feels bad that we're filing work on this dude. Alden is just like, yeah, this is how it works.
at this point it's probably about 4 p.m., maybe 4:30.
All right.
Is there
We
anything
should
further you wish to do?
we should definitely go and talk to the lawyer. Inform him of everything that we've done. Everything we've discovered. Let him know.
We
Right.
can also speak with. Well, actually, no. We can do that at the same time. Because the cultists and Anna are both being held in Ainsworth, maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
yes,
And
they are.
our appointment is at 8, right?
Yeah.
So we have 4 hours.
Okay, so you head back to the lawyer's office?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you head back there, when you make your way into the lawyer's office, the receptionist greets you and she says, Mr. Levin stepped out for the time being. He's actually heading down to Ainsworth Prison in order to speak with his client and to coordinate your interviews for this evening.
Wonderful.
He figured that she could probably use a little bit of good news, so he went to let her know that you're on the case.
Thank you. We have actually. Can I insight check that?
Sure, go for it.
I know this is 12 plus 12 plus 12. That's a 24.
Yeah, she seems honest.
Okay. Thank you so much. When do you think he'll be back?
I'm not sure if he'll be returning today. He has a number of things on his itinerary. He has to meet with the city guard, the detectives on the case in order to go over. He had a few additional questions for them on their evidence gathering. And he then
I have
needs...
questions on their evidence gathering. Yes.
Jesus.
She seems to be looking over his itinerary for the day, and she says he has to secure a few expert witnesses of his own, as well as speak with some members of the parliament who have expressed a special interest in this proceeding.
Thank you. Perhaps we should catch up with him on when he meets up with the detectives. Or should we? I look at the group. Do you guys?
The
When-
receptionist looks at you all kind of concerned. And she says, have you discovered something?
Many things.
Is that what? Well, why don't you, if you have any information you can leave with me, I can pass it off to one of the associates so that they can do the footwork.
Oh, that would be great.
It's not just that Mr. Levin on this case.
Oh, that's a relief. Well, okay. So, and then I start giving her the rundown of like.
Okay. So
everything.
you give her the rundown. She takes very precise and impeccable notes on detailed notes on everything that you're telling her, and then she passes it along to some of the more seasoned-looking associates who immediately begin drafting paperwork and planning to send out a few messages to relevant people.
Wonderful.
Lauren?
There was a knock at the door. Hello?
Hi.
Hello,
There's a knock.
Lauren?
Hello?
That one. Sorry.
Lauren, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm great.
No, we just heard a little knock on the distance, and we hear you under your
Is that
breath
a-
very quietly go, I hate this bitch.
Well, you know.
We're not on speakerphone, are we?
Not anymore.
Okay.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, okay. What do you guys want to do?
I don't know what-
Um. I don't know. We have a lot. We still have a few hours, right?
Hello? Did you guys hear
Yes.
me?
Hey.
Yes. Hello.
What did I
Hi.
miss?
What was
Y'all,
happening? Sorry.
your
Go ahead.
group headed back to the lawyer's office to let him know, but he's out taking care of a bunch of different things, and you dropped the information off with one of the other associates who's on the case, and they're gonna take care of things.
Okay.
Yeah, we told them about like True Sight and all that.
Yeah.
Um.
They're gonna get the relevant people they need to prove that.
Okay, so what other avenues do we have open to us?
Do we want to go talk to the city guard detectives that were looking for us? We've got about 4 hours, right?
Yes. Yeah, we might as well.
Ugh.
I am uneasy, but perhaps it's better we do not hide.
Definitely.
That would
Let's
make
go.
things complicated. Let's go.
Okay. So you head across the city, back to the Civic District, and ultimately you approach this stately red brick building with Arcadian flags flying on poles over the entrance. And there's this arched glass doorway that leads into a very crowded lobby. And it's just completely packed with civilians in this waiting area. And there's a large oak desk with a very bored-looking city guardswoman sitting at it. And she's sort of slouched on the desk, leaning on her hand as she's eyeing the crowd that's assembled. They appear to be, waiting to be called or whatnot, and she just looks absolutely miserable on desk duty.
Hello.
You state your business.
There were two detectives that were looking for us earlier. They, Ellen would remember their names, but I.
You have a card.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a card. Cecil, you have a card?
Yes. Hold on. Let's go through my notes because I wrote it down.
As Cecil pulls up.
Cecil pulls out an air horn.
We're looking for Christina Blakemore and Jim Shelby. They were looking for us.
She looks at the. Oh yeah, okay. She thinks for a moment. She says, "Okay, one moment." And she gets up from her desk and sidles outside of the desk area that she's sitting at and pushes her way into the back where the bullpen is. And, she disappears from sight. After a moment, she comes back, takes her seat. She says, "I'll be with you in a moment."
Thank you.
So as you sit and peer through the glass doors that lead into the bullpen, you see a number of people beyond. Lots of guards who seem to be working desk duty, others bringing suspects to do interrogation, others taking statements. The entire room, the entire building really is permeated with this acrid smell of cigarette smoke and burnt coffee. And after a few minutes, the doors push aside, and you see standing before you an elven woman, very tall and thin. She has this golden blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail, but her complexion is very dark. She has these piercing green eyes, and she's wearing this very sharply tailored gray suit with a blue vest and a white shirt underneath and a red tie. And she approaches and she holds her hand out and she says, "Christina Blakemore, at your service." She gives you this winning smile.
Oh goodness.
Hello, Detective Batemore. Hello, Detective Batemore. We are the Blue Hearts.
Yes, I've
believe
been
you.
looking very much forward to meeting with you. If you'll follow me,
Of course.
we'll go meet up with my partner. So she brings you out into the back area, bringing you to one of her desks, where across from her desk you see this man who's slouched there, and he is a human man, kind of stocky looking, wearing a tan trench coat. He's got this dirty 5 o'clock shadow. unkempt brown hair, and some bags under his eyes, and he's sitting there sipping a mug of coffee. His tie is tied rather sloppily, and his shirt is untucked a little bit.
Can I partially retcon something a little bit as we were
What's up?
walking into this place or walking like behind her? Can I say something to Ellen, kind of under my breath,
Sure.
like,
Sure. What do you say?
"You keep an eye on her. I will keep an eye on the dirty one."
Of course.
That's all I want.
Ellen just like gives a quiet nod.
That was my attempt to be unmeta about using insight checks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you rolling insight checks at this point?
I'm
or are you...
also
I-
gonna.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll insight on the Shelby guy.
I'm also.
I'm
Actually,
rolling insight on the lady.
I'm also
But I
gonna keep
can't-
an eye on Shelby.
I can't do insight on two people, right? It has to be one
No,
person.
it has to be one
Yeah.
person.
Okay.
Oh, hang on.
28,
28.
Okay.
23.
23. Okay.
I rolled.
So as you, what you got a 9?
I got a 9 plus 2.
9.
9, 11. Okay.
Never forget.
Jet fuel can't melt Shelby's.
Oh no!
Oh,
Jesus
my
Christ.
God.
Okay, let's continue, please. Before this gets too out of hand.
Okay. So she brings you up to this desk where her partner is sitting, and she looks toward you and she motions toward her partner and she says, "Blue Hearts, may I present my partner, Detective Shelby?" And Ellen, as she's saying this, you get this kind of impression of a very, very small grimace at the corner of her lips, as if she's not happy about being paired with this man.
Oh, poor guy.
And she says, right, so we have a bunch of questions that we'd like to ask you. If you don't mind, we'd like to take you in one-on-one. So she points to Goff and she says, "Big guy, you're with me."
Oh. May I
Jim,
reroll
can-
my insight check?
Nope. Well, you can later on when you're sitting with her.
Okay. Alright.
Jim, do you want to take Miss? And she points towards Sissel.
Sissel, thanks.
Sissel, why don't you take her in room 2? And she says, "Okay. All right, young lady, let's just follow me."
After you.
Okay. They lead you both back, and she motions to the remaining bunch of you who are still there. And she says, "Oh, just you can take a seat. We'll call you when we're ready."
Are there any like
Of course.
newspaper magazines,
Periodicals? Yeah.
periodicals?
There's
Arcadia Weekly.
women in full battle armor.
Yes.
Weekly.
Yay!
Yes,
Return
Fully armored women monthly.
Yeah.
Is it the swimsuit edition where they have swimsuits over the armor?
It's actually swimsuits under the armor, so you actually can't see them.
Oh, that's even better.
So it's this swimsuit edition, but looks exactly the same as
Yes.
usual.
Yes.
So I sit down.
For those hot summer looks. Actually, it's more like winter because it's winter in the city right now, so it's more like the winter
So
edition.
it's an old newspaper
Yeah,
then.
it's an old summer edition.
So I sit down and I motion Goff to come over and look at this.
Those fun and flirty plate armor for the summer looks.
Are all of us together? I thought I was like sort of back to a room.
You are. Goff
Okay, so I'm
and
not-
Cecil were
Goff
taken
was-
back.
I'm sorry. Okay. Here, Ace. I don't. Come look at this.
Alright.
Okay. So the way this is gonna work is I'm gonna have it sort of like staggered, like I'm trying to think the best way of explaining this. Like essentially,
Like a scene change every question.
yeah, it's a scene change every question kind of thing, as the two of them are respectively interviewing all of you, essentially.
Okay.
So it won't just be Goff and Sissel, but it'll also be Hiraeth and Ellen and Mido. Okay, so
I love
As
it
this-
when movies do this.
yeah. So as this begins, so Goff, Detective Blakemore, she brings you back into what's essentially an interrogation room. You can feel as you enter that an anti-magic field kicks in. And she sits down, and she says, "Yeah, take a seat. You want anything to drink?"
I am fine, thank you.
Okay. I'd like a drink actually. And she walks over to the edge of the.
I'm insight checking her, by the
Okay,
way.
sure.
Uh,
She walks over to a table and starts pouring herself a cup of coffee.
20.
20. Okay. She seems friendly.
Okay.
She sits down at the table and she says, now I know you guys by reputation, and let me just say I'm a big fan. You guys have done great work in this city, cleaning up the slums, protecting us abroad. I've heard a few good things from Detective Bowles over at the military HQ. So first, but I only know you by the Blue Hearts. That's the name that was given to you from Officer Asim's reports. What's your name?
I am called Goff of Stillwater.
Goff of Stillwater is very poetic, very, very pretty. So, as you can imagine, I wanted to speak with you and your friends, just basically get an idea of your relationship with Chancellor Stonebrook. As you can understand, she's currently being tried for some pretty serious crimes.
I am aware.
So, if you don't mind me asking, how long have you known her?
I don't. As a DM, can you tell me? Because you have a better sense of the clock that's passed.
Probably been about 6 months now, I'd say.
About half a year.
And how did you meet?
Again, this is my player memory being bad.
We retconned to say you were one of the people who was in the room at the time when, or who was captured by the guards, essentially.
I was one of the people that was like the 4 people.
Yes.
Okay, I thought that was Ellen who we retconned to be that.
No, Ellen.
No, Ellen happened by as.
Okay, so I replaced her
Yes.
in that story. Okay.
Mhm.
What was the question again?
How did you meet?
So what happened? When did we first meet Anna? Because I don't know if that has something. If we met Anna before, like did the party meet Anna in the first session? Because I missed the
Yes.
first session. Okay, so you have to tell me what happened because I don't actually know. I wasn't there.
Okay. All right, let's skip this question.
Let's just say that Goff
It's too
said
much,
whatever
too much
that was.
meta. Yeah, it's too much meta.
I didn't. I wasn't there. I wouldn't know. I don't know exactly how we met.
Forget it. Forget it.
Can I just say that I was one of the people? Like, should I just say that? Like, I was one of the.
Yeah, it's fine.
What were the exact circumstances? It was we were.
You were
the Chancellor
being
was killed
framed
and...
for the murder of the Chancellor.
Okay, sorry.
Because your doppelgangers were in the room.
Oh yeah.
I was one of the 4 implicated in the framing, as you call it, for the murder of Chancellor Stormoak.
Oh, interesting. So your first exposure to Miss Stonebrook had surrounded that whole nasty business with the former Chancellor.
Yes.
And you helped her find out who the real murderer was.
Correct.
Did you ever get any impression that Miss Stonebrook was upset about the former Chancellor's murder? Did she seem unusual at the time? Did perhaps she seem like she was trying to cover her tracks?
I'm going based on my player memory here. So if there's facts that Goff would know, please tell me. Because so my response from my memory is, no. She was devastated at his death. She wanted justice.
Okay. And when was the first time you heard about these keys?
Again, I might be factually incorrect about this. It was sometime after we brought down Emmett Beaumont and discovered he was the true killer. Can you remind me of specific, like, when was it like we took a break, we had like that intermission, and then like did she call us back and then she talked to us about the keys? Was that how it happened?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, it's been so long. I just want to
know.
make sure I get the information correct. After about a month and a half, 2 months, she called us back together and she told us of the keys and their danger. And after a short period of time, we went out in search of the first.
Did she seem eager to get these keys?
No, she seemed troubled by their existence and concerned with what harm they could cause, which is a great deal.
What did she want to do with them?
She wanted to contain them, quarantine them, and find a way to destroy them forever, truly.
I see. Okay. Well, and we see the scene sort of trail off as we switch over to Sissel. You're in this room with this really surly looking fella, Jim Shelby, who's he brings you in and he's just kind of sitting there staring at you for like a good 2 or 3 minutes without saying anything.
Nice
So,
water,
there's a little too cold for my tastes. So your name is Sissel.
That's me.
Well, Sissel, my name is Jim Shelby. I'm a ace detective around here.
Nice
Oh
to
my
meet you,
god.
Jim.
So, my partner's dealing with your friend in the other room.
What a
Had a-
weird fucking guy.
I just want to have a few questions. Yeah, I won't take up too much of his time. Now, we know that you have this previous relationship with Miss Stonebrook.
Yeah.
You guys have known her for a while. You've been doing good deeds for her. But how long have you known she was a dragon?
Quite a while, actually. I didn't realize that wasn't common knowledge.
And would you be able to put a date on that?
It was that night we, went after Emmett, I think. She rescued us, actually, from some of the nasty things that were plaguing the city. We ran into a really big one, and she took it down.
So she's looking out for you. She scratches your back, you scratch hers.
That's
She
generally
ever-
what you'd call friendship, yeah.
Sissel,
ever-
you have friends Blackwell?
Now, it's my understanding that shortly after that series of events, y'all took possession of the last round, a bar here in the city. Is that correct?
It used to be owned by a gang, yeah.
And how did you get the money to afford that?
Well, my memory's failing me here. Shit. I don't remember. Fuck.
Make an intelligence check if you
Yeah.
remember, because I mean, if you don't remember, Sissel's not going to remember unless you do well enough.
Yeah, I mean, my memory is shit, but we'll see.
I mean, that's what happens. Sometimes witnesses' memories aren't good, so you have
That
to.
felt. Hold on. Oh, why? That's a 9.
9 total.
9!
Unfortunately, you don't really recall the circumstances too well, but so you'll have to kind of give it your best your best effort.
Sissel just shrug emoji.
Well, my memory's kind of fuzzy. A lot's happened since then, but I know we got the deed from Detective Bowles, and it was basically a reward for a job well done for helping save the city from Emmett.
Detective Bowles, that's fascinating. My understanding
Wait,
is
Bowles,
that it was.
not Bowles. The other guy.
You said it.
I said it.
Falk, you're being so mean. We can't
My
remember all
memory-
this stuff.
Dude,
Come on,
Falk,
man.
my memory is garbage, and you know that.
This is like a year and a half ago.
I know.
I know.
You can't. I didn't even. Come on, man. You could have. Cut us
That's
some
what the
slack.
intelligence checks are for. Like this is
It's
this
what the
is.
okay, this is like over a year ago. In real life, it was like 5 or 6 months ago
I
in
know,
game.
but this is
Why are you
sometimes.
punishing us?
Sometimes people don't remember stuff in real life. This is how it happens. Okay, I'm
It's a
sorry.
bit of a time difference, but okay.
I mean, sure.
I
Well,
mean,
I'll let you roll again.
Uh,
Could it at least be corrected so it's not the entirely
So,
wrong person who gave the
yeah,
deed? Like this just.
I meant
Fine.
Warren.
God, you guys are just.
No, it's.
What?
I normally go with this shit, but that. Okay. Warren is the person who gave us the deed.
Ah. Prosecutor Warren.
Yes.
Well, he wouldn't have done that unless he got some sort of authority to do so. So I'm assuming Miss Stonebrook was rewarding you for something.
Well, I mean, saving the city was a pretty big thing to do, especially considering that it was under. I mean, Jimmy, you were around, right, when all of this went
Oh
down?
yeah. I was around.
Wasn't exactly the most ideal of circumstances.
No, I would say that wasn't a very pretty. That wasn't a very pretty night. No. My question is, she furnished this reward to you because of your service to the city at the time, or was this sort of to keep you on her side so that you keep doing more things with her?
No.
Were your group gonna just cut and run, or did you have a established relationship at this point with Miss Stonebrook?
We had no. I mean, it was. What, a couple of weeks after I had to go run an errand, send a letter to a personal friend, unrelated, but. I mean, we'd had no reason to.
You speaking of Miss Moira Crow?
Yes.
Oh, we were acquainted. She's a very nice lady.
She is.
You, Cecil, as he says that, you just kind of get like this ominous feeling as he says that.
Cecil just stares dead into his eyes.
So let me ask you about this, and it sort of trails off a little bit. And this time we go back to Christina Blakemore, and she is speaking with Ellen.
okay.
Miss Mahario, is it?
Yes.
Would you mind letting me know where you and your friends have been in the past, I'd say 2 to 3 weeks?
We have been in the archipelago.
Any particular reason?
Well, at first it was just for the key, but it turned fairly personal for our friend Goff. He, as it turns out, is it's unrelated to the case. I don't know if
That's
you
fine.
need
I
the
don't need
information.
all the specifics, but if you were looking for one of these keys, my understanding is 2 of them are safely secured right now in the academy.
Yes,
I understand you brought them in. Thank you for that, by the way.
of course.
Any idea where that 3rd key went? I mean, clearly you're back, so you must have concluded your business in the archipelago.
The third key. The third key we have secured. We
I'm sorry, you
Yeah.
secured it
yes.
personally.
Yes.
You brought it to the academy.
We just got back yesterday, and we
Wait,
haven't.
you planned to bring it to the academy?
Of course.
Give me this. Are you telling the truth?
Nope.
Give me a deception check.
Hang on. I rolled it like. Hang on. That's hang on, what's my uh where's my deception? Okay. That's an 18 plus 2.
Oh my
Oh
god,
my
dude.
god.
Alright, let's see what we can do here.
Wait,
She's-
we don't plan, right, do we?
We are withholding the key until further notice, so it's kind of yes and no.
Oh, it's up
It's
in
kind
the
of
air.
I mean, I guess if you wanted to be if you want to be binary about it, no, we are not actually planning to do that because we made the plan to withhold it until we knew we had a safe option for it.
Yes.
She seems to be studying you, scrutinizing you a little bit. And then she stands from the table. She walks over and she pours herself another cup of coffee. And with her back still to you, she says, "Look, Miss Mahariel, I understand that you have people you want to protect in this city. But I'm an officer of the law, and we can't have vigilantes going around making their own decisions. So
Ooh.
I think you're lying to me."
Very well. We don't know what we are going to do with the key. We are...
What could I do to convince you to bring it in, to secure it in the academy, so that it's at least out of the possibility of anybody else getting a hold of it? So I don't know what your plans are with it. I don't know if how you're securing it is safe. I don't want that thing on the streets.
Neither do we. Gods me.
And you did a insight check on her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she seems honest this whole time. She doesn't seem like she's trying to be deceptive toward you or
Okay.
trick you in any way.
We... But we are just extremely cautious. We saw some things in the island back at the archipelago. Personally, we are fairly certain that the Chancellor herself is innocent. But we do have reason to believe that there is someone else high up in Arcadian, in the Arcadian hierarchy who is trying to set her up to take a fall. And we're just very scared that whoever it is might have access to anything, no matter what magical security we have.
Well, if it will reassure you, to my knowledge, there's only two people who are authorized to access that vault. One is Miss Stonebrook herself, who's in custody. The other is the current head of the Academy, Gimble Needlenose, who we did a background check on him. He checks out.
I'll speak with the rest of my team.
I
We'll,
appreciate it. I would hate to have to send guards to the Dapper Snapdragon to
of
take it.
course. We'd rather not have an altercation.
And I appreciate your honesty.
Of course.
She kind of places a hand on your hand.
We do in the end just want to keep those we love safe.
Of course. So now we switch scenes once more. We're back with Detective Shelby, this time with Hiraeth.
Okay.
Detective Shelby's sort of looking at you, Hiraeth, and he's leaning back a little bit in his chair. After a moment, he kind of belches.
I'm
Oh
just
my
I'm
God.
leaning back in my own chair and I have my arms crossed. I'm just kind of staring at him, looking very, like, unimpressed.
So, Miss Steel Song,
Hmm?
how's your father these days?
Do you know my father?
Oh, Dar Steel Song's famous.
I wouldn't know. Lived in a small village growing up, only got as far out here a few years ago.
You
Haven't
didn't
heard
answer my
anybody
question.
mention
How's he doing these days?
He's alive.
Oh, that's good.
It's better than being dead.
Yeah, it's very good. So, what do you think he'd think of his daughter getting mixed up in all this?
I think he'd think it's a good story.
No.
That's what we're all in here for, right? Good story.
He kind of chuckles at you. Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose, but me, I'm not too interested in that kind of thing. Too boring. Reading
You don't want to
stories.
be recalled for decades later in a song.
I just want to do my job, ma'am.
I'm sure I could write a song about you.
Just one big diss track.
Holy shit.
I love it.
So your friend in the other room informed us that you are holding on to this key, this siphon key, as they call it. Do you have any
That-
knowledge of that?
If that's what they're saying, it's true.
And you are gonna ensure that gets into official hands. Am I correct?
We prefer it to. As long as official hands are safe hands.
He holds up his hands. He's like, the safest hands.
I don't know about that. Maybe if
Wow,
you wash
come
them a
on.
little bit more often.
Hmm.
Oh my god!
I love this.
I love this.
What do you know about a fella named Medici?
Kill
It's
them.
into a lot of really weird shit.
Yeah, he's still at large. You know anything about that? When we might find him?
It's been a long time since I've seen that guy. Always had strange things following after him. I wouldn't be able to say. Maybe he finally got swallowed up by all the shit he was into.
Do you know what his relationship with Miss Stonebrook was?
Don't really seem to recall.
That's funny, because I believe some eyewitnesses observed you entering her office with him.
I mean, perhaps. I don't know their deep dark secrets though, but I'm not
Make a
going to.
deception check.
Eyewitnesses. Nobody sees nothing. Hold on. Okay. Wow. That's a cool. That's a cool 24.
Oh my god.
I love bards.
He leans forward a little bit and he scowls at you a little bit and squints and he looks like he's scrutinizing you.
Just smiling.
And he doesn't seem to be able to really get a read on you. Just falls back in his chair. Well, if there's anything you know about his current whereabouts, the city guy would appreciate your cooperation.
Oh, believe me, I'd love to see him again as well. Unfinished business, you know.
All right. So that as that continues,
I'm so proud of Parade right now.
Yeah.
Same.
Don't try to go into a charisma battle with a bard.
Tried his best. Okay, so finally we switch back to Detective Blakemore, who is in the room with Mito.
I still got my magazine.
You got your magazine still.
I'm flipping through it.
Oh, any good models? Any good designs this season?
Oh, yeah. Look at this one. I pull it out, and it is the summer swimsuit edition, so it might be a little risque, but
Oh, not at all. Like,
That was a little joke. It's always fully armor, am I right? And I'm like elbowing him.
She kind of laughs a little bit at you. So Miss Stillspire, you used to be in the military, am I right?
Yeah, that was a long time ago, though.
And you are familiar with Officer Verna Asim?
Oh, yes, that is my best friend. Was my best friend. I don't know where we stand right now.
She's been telling quite some tales about you and your group. All
I
of your
mean-
reports are currently entered into evidence.
Yeah, it sounds like Verna.
Do you think that Miss Asim's word can be trusted?
Absolutely. I think that
Do you
is
think her reports are accurate?
I think you would be hard pressed to find anyone who puts more care and research into their reports.
I see. She reported a while ago that you ran into some business down the crossroads.
Uh-huh.
Something to do with former Chancellor's body?
Hey,
Do you
Falk,
think-
I straight up don't remember this because I
Okay.
left partway through it.
That's right. I forgot it. No, you left later on in the Ebony Thicket.
Did I? I don't
Yeah.
remember. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I
no,
like
it's
just
fine.
straight
We're
up.
so good at this.
It's fine.
I
Okay.
didn't know we were gonna be interrogated.
Well, you could assume that if
I'm
you're
really
going to
sorry.
meet some detectives. No, it's fine. Basically, you had to stop the Crimson Harbingers from conducting some ritual on the former Chancellor's body that you still to this day don't know what it was.
So we don't know what happened to the body?
Well, no, you reinterred the body, but you don't know like
What the
they were
ritual
trying
was.
to do.
Okay.
You stopped it.
Okay. Right. Okay, I do remember that. Now that you mentioned it.
She mentioned that there was a Dr. Samuel Walden involved. Do you know Dr. Walden?
Oh yes, Dr. Waldo. Very. He's a very. he, he's a little quirky, but he's a very reliable guy.
Is he dangerous?
No,
Are you lying?
no. I truly believe this.
You truly believe that Dr. Walden's not
I mean,
dangerous?
because
Yeah,
I think Mito looks at his muscles and just goes, not a threat.
that's legit. Mido does not. She could pick
We're-
him up.
We're familiar with Dr. Walden's past relationship with Chancellor Stonebrook, and some of my superiors are a little concerned that maybe he might try something. Do you think he might try something?
What are you implying by try something?
Might try to break her out of prison?
Hmm.
Might try to go on a vigilante crusade?
Walden? We talking about the same Walden?
I'm just thinking that maybe Walden, maybe the B team would.
Oh my god.
What? They might actually.
They're more vigilantes than we are.
They
I would
might
play that one
actually.
shot.
I would do it.
Break Anna out of prison. B team's back for one more big con. Sorry for interrupting. I'm
I
sorry.
might run that. No, it's fine.
If
Uh,
it happens,
As
if
an
it happens,
alternate
We
universe.
gotta do
In
it.
alternate universe. So you don't think he's any threat? He's not planning anything? When was the last time you spoke with Dr. Walden?
Gosh, wasn't that the crossroads, or that was? No, we
spoke with
came
him
back
today.
and
Just-
spoke with him today.
yeah.
In game
Yes.
today, yes.
Yes, that might have been when I got distracted by other things. I'm moving at the same time here, guys, so you have to.
Yeah,
You
it's
may
right.
not- I don't think you were there actually. I think that was the session you missed. So,
Yeah, you missed yesterday's
Yeah.
session,
Oh
Yeah.
yes, that's it.
or
yeah.
last week.
but Mido would know she was there. So we spoke
Yes.
to Walden today in game time.
Yeah, we spoke to him today. Actually, what did he say?
He just was gonna help you and was gonna track down his own contacts and see what he can find.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we discussed the surprise. We were all like freaked out by Anna being on trial. We all learned that at the same time, and then we talked about how concerning it was. And then we all said we're gonna try and do what we can to try and help her. That's literally there was no secrets held like
Yeah,
about what we
Dr.
were
Okay.
gonna
Walden
do.
just said
So
like, I'll
Okay.
look for evidence on my own. You guys follow your leads, and we'll do that.
Okay. Sorry.
oh, you weren't there,
Never
you couldn't
worry.
help it.
We've been digging into Miss Stonebrook's past, and she knows quite a lot of dangerous people. We're just concerned that her old allies might try something, that's all.
I'm not aware of anything like that. I
Well-
definitely can tell you that that Waldo isn't doing that.
Okay. Well, since you have been in contact with him recently, if you think he might be planning something, harm against the city's guard, trying to break the law,
Yeah, I'd never do that.
I just ask that you report it.
Absolutely.
You lying?
Cross my heart, hope to die. That I
Alright.
am lying.
Okay, roll a deception check.
Oh boy.
Oh fuck.
Oh Jesus! Oh my God!
I believe in you.
I
Deception.
I
Please,
believe,
God.
I believe. Oh
Fuck!
no.
God.
Oh no.
Double fours.
Can I
She-
roll good, please?
She kind of looks down at the table a little bit and just shakes her head. Please, I'm asking you. And she puts a hand on your hand. Just try to help me out here. We're trying to make sure that justice is done and that things go by the book.
I sigh and I nod my head. Okay. Okay. I promise. I look her in the
smiles at you.
eyes.
She smiles at
I
you.
say
Okay, well, that's everything I can think of for now. I'm sure we'll have further questions at some point. Just please don't leave the city. At least not for the next few days.
that. Okay.
And the rest of you were also told this as well.
Yeah, well, we don't plan on it.
And they let you go.
So that was more stressful than... no, that was about as stressful as I thought it would be.
I thought it was pretty fun.
That guy was a dick.
I had fun
Um,
playing with him though.
Hey, I'm not very good at lying, guys.
I think I will write a song about it.
I'd like to
But
hear
did
it
you
when you're
gu-
done.
Hey, Goth.
Mm.
I pull up the issue. It's the magazine. Check it out. This is this is what's a good fantasy name? Quick, someone off the top of your head.
Crumbs lore.
Is Cromslore a feminine name? I guess you can be named anything in this world. Check out Cromslore on page 15. No, that's French allure. Cromslore.
Oh my god.
I'm so sorry. I'm
I
not.
We all... I love how all of us just instantly respond with a meme.
her armor is very well made.
I agree. I want this one. I just don't think it's very. It's very fashionable, but I don't think it's. You can see there's a couple of holes in the defenses
No,
there.
it's not practical.
No,
It could
it's
be
not.
good for like a parade or like a party.
I
Yes, of course. Anyways, and I throw the magazine in the air.
you just throw it in the air, let it fall.
But then I wait for everyone else to walk out, and then I put it away very nicely.
The desk woman gives you a sour look as you throw it in the air,
I'm
and then
sorry, I was a joke. Sorry, and I go put it back on the.
okay. So I'd say it's actually been a couple of hours of questioning at this point, so it's probably closer to like 6:30 at this moment.
All right. How long will it take us to get back to where we need to be to the
To-
interview?
To head to the prison, wouldn't take you that long. It'd take you maybe 20 minutes to walk across town.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's that out of the way.
I
Mhm.
I look around. Is there anyone around us right now?
There's people on the streets. Yeah, there's guards, there's civilians.
Okay, never mind. I find this all very troubling. I am worried about the identity of. Well, we'll discuss this later. What do we do in the meantime?
So, all their arguments were about the money, the house, the keys,
The keys? Oh, the keys. Yeah, sorry.
about her like really wanting them
Mm-hmm.
as some kind of power grab. Are we just going to go out and just call everybody racist for just thinking that she's bad because she's a dragon? Like, she's not even actually like a dragon.
No, dragons are supposed to be bigger, right?
She's got scales. There's nothing wrong with that.
I've literally been killed by a dragon. She's not a dragon.
No. Yeah.
Just because she looks
She's
like a
also
dragon.
Sissel's kind of got scales.
Yeah, she's got
Um,
scales. I've got scales. She's cool. I'm cool.
I have
Yeah.
a question for the DM.
Yes.
What kind of outfit does Gimbal normally wear? Does it cover his neck?
No.
Oh.
I know it's racist to assume that because he's a gnome.
It's just all gnomes.
But like, look, okay, I this is not in character, but
No.
I'm thinking someone who can use powerful magic, who is a gnome, who has access to the keys. I mean, so far Gimbal's not in a great position in terms of things that could be weighed against him.
Gimbal does
Gimbal
not
away.
wear. He wears a loose-fitting robe.
Gimbal wears crop
Well, he can still
tops.
hide the tattoo with some kind
Well,
of.
you've seen his exposed neck. He doesn't have a tattoo there.
But he could be hiding.
Gimbal
Yeah, he could be
wears
hiding
crop
behind it,
tops
that's
and
true.
bikinis.
He,
Okay.
like yeah, like he could be using illusion or something, some kind of
That's true.
magical.
Yeah, it could very well be.
But normally he doesn't.
Away.
Never
you-
seen it. Like
Do you,
that.
well, I worry about. I've always been nervous about the small man who works in the academy, but he does not have a tattoo on his neck.
As far as
Oh,
we know.
Gimbal? Hmm. Could be hiding it.
He could be glamoring it or
I'm
whatever.
cu-
I mean, I imagine Anna's probably not the only glamour person in the academy.
That is true.
I am very curious about that symbol. We have time. Is there anything else you wish to do, or may I look into it?
Let's look into it.
Is there a place I can is the like the Arcadian the Academy's library? Like, does that have someplace I could look for symbols?
I mean, you could make an intelligence check.
2.
2 total.
I want you to know I smiled when I said that.
Yeah, you could look in the Academy's library for symbols. It's possible.
Oh, now I know there's someplace else I could have gone, but I didn't learn it because of my bad check. Fuck.
Let's visit
Oh.
every tattoo parlor in this no.
I fear I won't find anything, but unless you have a better idea, looking to everyone else, I suppose we could look in the library there.
Sounds as good
Could
idea as any.
also speak to some of our shadier contacts about what that tattoo might mean.
That's true.
Hmm.
Who's,
That is true.
who's the guy who's our pal, but kind of not our pal?
Bruno the Neck.
Yeah, I want to go
Bruno
talk to him.
Okay, you'd have to find him. You've never been to his HQ. He always shows up at your place.
True. Isn't it close by though?
It's in the far corners. You know that much.
Yeah.
We also have Big Mama, who we know where she probably is.
Yeah, but she
so-
doesn't deal in
I
information.
feel like she's not quite as.
Does a little
see-
bit. but not as
Might.
much as Bruno.
Well, if we talk to her and she doesn't know, she would probably know where Bruno is. Maybe.
Would you?
I feel like they all kind of know where one another are. They got their
Don't
like
all these
territory.
gang
Because
leaders
they're
know each
crime
other?
bosses.
Oh, just because they're crime bosses.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
I'm thinking.
criminalist.
Every-
You can't just assume they know everything about each other.
Oh, God.
We can't just go like shaking down every gnome we find in the city. It's better to go after what we know about the
What we
tattoo.
know about it.
Oh. Sissel, I swear to God.
Alan is just nodding sleepily, like, yes, what we know about it.
What we know about it. That's the name
Very
of this
clever.
chapter.
Okay. Are we going to move together or are we going to split up?
I'd be willing to split up if we have to,
How
time-wise.
much time do we have?
It's like an hour and a half.
Probably takes a while to get down to the Four Corners.
Far Corners would take about a half hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Big Mama down there too?
We could. I mean,
Big
we could,
Mama's more central. It would take you
Yeah.
about 20 minutes to get to Big Mama.
I mean, we could
Okay.
save this interrogation for after we meet with the people in the prison.
Yeah,
That's
I think-
true.
If it's time, because time is too much of a concern.
I mean, they're definitely going to be out and about at night.
True.
So, yeah, we
Well,
could probably do our interrogation first.
What do you wish to do?
Make our way
Downtown.
making our way downtown.
To the
Talks.
prison.
Talk some
walking
cultists.
faster.
You're gonna go to the. Okay, so you're. I'd say if you head now to the prison, you'll be about an hour early.
Golf, do you think we can request, that they use that spell on the prisoners before we meet?
I
The restoration or zone of truth?
The restoration.
I don't. We could ask them, but I fear that it is not that easy.
Worth a shot.
They must be kept in. I'm assuming they are kept in anti-magic fields so that they are less of a threat. And if to use a spell on them, they must be removed from the field, and that may make them dangerous.
But they have, Evokium, shackles, wouldn't they?
That
The-
prevents magic use.
Yeah, we put Medici in them.
Well, I suppose, but I don't. If we are, we should try to make sure their memories are intact as they should be. But I don't know. I don't live here. I have not lived here, Alan. I assume it's much more complicated than I wish it was. But if given the opportunity, I will make sure their memories are clear. That is as much as I can say. If you wish to ask them, or what?
Hello?
Mel?
Hello?
Did Mel just get taken away? Fuck.
Probably.
Well, I was in mid-conversation with him. I was like, I kept talking. I was like, why isn't Mel saying anything to me?
They stole our friend.
Oh. Poor Mel.
Yeah.
Alright, what do you wish to do?
Go ahead and, well, I guess that's up to what Goff.
I don't know anything about prisons. This is probably a stupid question. A modify memory spell will still be in effect even if you enter an anti-magic field, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's basically a curse.
It's an ongoing. It's once the spell is concluded, the modified memory takes hold.
Okay.
That sucks.
I guess,
It's like a
are we
tattoo for
outside the
your brain.
prison?
Are you heading there? Is that where you're going at this point?
I thought we were doing. I don't know.
I'm
Mel
just
was
saying,
the one who
like,
was kind of
I
taking.
was
I
just-
think
I was-
so.
I was just letting you know that if you went now, you'd arrive an hour early.
Oh.
Okay.
That's all I was saying.
I mean, I don't know what else we can do in that time.
Get some food.
You were asking about Big Mama, who I think is very, very close to where the prison is.
Oh. Well, if
Yeah,
she's
we
really
could
close
go-
by.
Go talk
Let
to
me
her
look at the
first.
map. Let me look at the map just to be confident about that. Arcadia map. So
Oh.
it's like maybe a 10-minute walk between the casino where Big Mama is and the prison.
Well, we could go there then, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Worth a shot.
So you're gonna make your way over to Big Mama's casino over at Blind Man's Alley.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Okay. You make your way over to Blind Man's Alley and down the narrow alleyway that you've been a few times now. You stop at the door, knock, little shutter opens, and you see the half-orc staring out at you.
Information is king, bitches. I don't remember much, but I remember that.
He sighs and he goes, "All right." Closes the shutter again, and he opens the door. Repeat customers. Good for you.
He sounds like he's working retail. He sounds so fucking dejected.
Dog stays here. Weapons stay here.
All
Off you
right.
go.
Is Tackle still with us?
Yeah.
I
Giant,
good.
giant aberration stays here.
Yeah. This towering, almost fully grown displacer beast.
How big did they get again?
They get like
8 feet long. Yeah.
Is this like coral sized?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's getting there. It's getting there. So Tackle just lumbers in
When is Sissel gonna be able to ride him?
after this chapter.
Yes.
Hi, welcome back, Mel.
Hi.
So Tackle lumbers into the lobby of this casino, and both of the guards, the half-orc guards, immediately like go wide-eyed and they push themselves against the wall.
Relax, he's mine.
What?
He's well trained.
You get that thing out of here right
He's
now.
my friend.
He is trained.
One of them pulls a sword and like very shakily holds it
Hey.
in Tackle's direction.
Sorry.
I point at Tackle. Tackle, be a good boy. I point at the guard. You, be a good boy.
I scratched top of Roscoe's head and said, "Not worry, we'll watch the large one."
Tackle licks a paw and then very slowly walks up to one of the guards and just sort of brushes up against him.
Aww. Big
But-
dangerous cat with
Yeah.
6 legs.
The guard looks like he's about to faint.
See, he's friendly.
You'll be fine.
And so you leave this scene as it is, and you head down the stairs, and you make your way into the casino property, where at this time of night it's pretty happening. There's, it's about 7 p.m. All of the tables are filled. There's people in the corner who seem to be doing roulette wheel. There's some other people who seem to be cheering on some races with some like tiny animals. You make your way toward the back where the VIP section is. The guards, they recognize you at this point. They motion you inward, where you find Big Mama sitting at a table with a number of her subordinates, and she's playing a round of poker.
Is she winning?
Of course she's
course.
winning.
Good.
See, the
She's
number of
Big
chips
Mama.
the number of chips on her side is just staggering compared to everybody else, and they look all, beads of sweat pouring on their forehead, and they look. You come in just as she's finishing a hand. She throws her hand down, and they all just gasp, groan in exasperation. She just sort of flicks her luxurious raven blonde hair, or raven black hair.
Raven blonde.
Yeah.
What an impossible color.
Yeah, raven black hair. And she looks over in your direction as you enter. And she says, "Oh, my favorite neighbors. What can I do you for?"
Sorry, I was looking for something. Well, it's been quite a while, Big Mama. I am happy to see that you still have the lucky touch here.
Oh, I'm
Kinda
still
ju-
waiting for my rematch.
Oh, I believe me. I wish I had the time to take you up on that right now, but I fear we're here for a little bit more business.
Big Mama, it is good to see you again.
She holds a finger up,
Uh.
and then she motions to the rest of the people at the table, the her subordinates. She snaps her finger and motions toward the exit of the VIP lounge, and they all get up and they.
I was
move
actually
out.
about to ask if we could talk in private, so that's more perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
She
that's-
motions toward the open chairs.
I will take a seat
Yep. So
I'll
we're
take a seat.
and kind of like peek at. I just want to like peek at the cards that the dude left behind. Just.
Oh, they're
Just
abysmal.
'cause.
It's not even
Aw.
like. It's like high card, basically.
Nice.
Not even a pair.
Too bad. So I was wondering if you might be aware of a mysterious marking for some mysterious men that we happen to be tracking.
I can certainly try my best.
I drew it on
Oh,
one of my
okay.
notebook pages, so I mean it's very simple, but I just discreetly show her the symbol.
Okay. She looks over the image or the symbol, and she frowns a little bit. She says, "Where did you see this?"
On the neck of a man that we are, like I said, tracking.
Well, it's not one of my boys. I can tell you that much.
That's good to know.
But she's thinking a little bit. She says, "I have seen this before. Past, I'd say, few weeks. My boys have been running into some trouble. Bruno's men too. There's new players in town. Very skilled. They've been hassling our business, interrupting the money flow, information trades. I've been putting out some feelers where I can. A few of them have been noticed with this tattoo. I was able to track down one lead. It's a gnome. Lives up in the middle class district. His name is Wilser Davlin. Moved into the
Wilser
city
Davlin.
recently. Been flashing a lot of money. But it was pretty unusual at the time.
Hold on, I'm writing.
Yeah, I'm taking notes.
That's already pretty much a lot of what we wanted to know. We'll have to owe you.
I'm still waiting on that rematch, like I said. I
Oh,
can
we
give you
can
the
make it
I can give you the address location to his apartment if you're looking. to
Oh,
snoop
absolutely.
around.
That would be appreciated.
She snaps her fingers again, and one of the guards from outside the VIP section walks in and leans toward her, and she whispers in his ear, and he proceeds into the back room. And a little while later, he comes back out with a little slip of paper with an address on it.
Thank you very much. Once the dust is settled, I'll be sure to take you up on that.
I look forward to it, sweetie. She winks at you.
Wink. I'll wink back.
Ooh.
Travis McElroy voice. Wink.
Double wink.
Okay.
I will say this much: if you are not utterly aware, and I do not mean to question your information, I just wish to be cautious. This group is capable of very high level and complex magic, so just be careful. Those you care about around them.
Well, thanks for the warning. But I can handle myself.
I know. I apologize.
She nods. You all proceed out.
Yeah, I bow my head in thanks.
As you're all leaving, she slams her hand on the table and she says, "All right, who still has money to lose?" as more people come back in to play against her. Okay. So, with that little bit of information, is there anything else you wish to do before you head to the prison?
I think we probably don't have enough time to investigate that address, so we probably because
Yeah, we can do
that's a
later.
That's a ways away, right?
That's on the northern end of the city.
Yeah, I don't think we have time to do that.
Okay.
So I
So,
guess we'll just make our way to the prison.
all right. As you make your way south, or rather east from Blind Man's Alley, you make your way through the twisting makeshift roads of the slums, and eventually you come upon this towering, very dour stone structure that rises up before you, surrounded by a yard with a high iron fence reaching about 3 stories up. Now, Ainsworth Prison, as it stands before you, has been an Arcadian staple for generations. Its thick walls holding the worst murderers, thieves, and ne'er-do-wells in the realm. There's a checkpoint that sits on the edge of the property with a small guardhouse manned by 3 tough-looking dwarven men in blue uniforms and chainmail. And as you approach, you notice along the sidewalk the humble attorney, Edward Levin. He has a small portfolio tucked under his arm, and he adjusts his spectacles as you approach. He says, "Ah, good, you're here.
A nod to him.
Hey.
Before you go in, there are some things we should probably discuss about these 3 cultists. I've procured a bit of information about them." And he pulls his portfolio up. As you likely know nothing about these lieutenants, I figured it would be good to brief you before you headed inside. So as he flips through his pages, he opens to one page and he says, "Firstly, the suit. Real name Penn Stamford. An aristocrat with a manor house outside the city, where he lives with his wife and daughter. Responsible for securing a lot of the property and financing that the Harbingers have had. He has connections throughout the Arcadian government as well as the city's upper class. His involvement was a surprise." He flips the page again. He says, "Next is a dwarven man, Dramos Chainbreaker, a soldier who was dishonorably discharged from the military.
Did you see the name again?
Dramos Chainbreaker.
Okay, thanks.
Primarily tasked with the recruitment of displaced soldiers to form the bulk of the Harbinger's following. Reports say he was never the same after that mess during the Vale Civil War 30 years ago. I did a little digging. It looks like he was present at the final battle near Skytier, stationed under Captain Asim. Finally, there
What was the last thing you said? Sorry.
He was at the final battle near Skytier, stationed under Captain Asim.
Okay.
And he flips the page once more. And finally, Dia Voidrunner, a disgraced member of the Academy for Magical Progress. Integral in the Academy's initial construction, she was kicked out for defying ethics, rules, and consorting with foul creatures from other planes. She is the Harbinger's master wizard. Much of their arcane constructs and necromancers that they hire go through her.
Well, could you repeat her name again, please?
Dia Voidrunner.
Which is a really badass name.
Void Runner is pretty cool. She was responsible for like mingling with like other worlds and creatures and shit.
She's their master wizard. The arcane constructs they employ, their necromancers that they hire, they are approved, or they go through her, essentially.
Okay. She's the scientist?
That's what you can assume if she was a former member of the Academy.
Well, he named the other 2 and then he didn't name her, so I was just clarifying.
Very well. Are you ready to proceed?
I suppose so, yes.
I have a question.
Go on.
We are skeptical that the individuals in question have had their memories altered to believe something that is true that is not, or that we believe to not be true.
Good. Maintain that skepticism.
I wonder, is it possible to have their memories unaltered or to be cleansed so that they do not believe in falsehoods? I know that they are kept within cells to prevent them from causing trouble.
They
But-
will not be under an anti-magic spell when we are interrogating them. They will be shackled with
Is it possible
Rockian
to-
chains so that they will not be able to cast anything.
Well, I am not part of this process that you must perform. Is it possible to get a restoration spell placed upon them?
I do not believe they have any magic users on site in their staff. We would have to call in a favor from someone at the academy. That would take time.
Very well. Well, I am capable of such, but I imagine it's much more complicated than I wish it was.
Well, I'll leave it to your discretion. You'll be the ones conducting the interviews. After all, I've done it as much as I can. Their stories all match up.
Very well.
Very well, follow me. He approaches the guard checkpoint, and one of the guards eyes you warily as another one of them unlocks the iron gate leading into this cobblestone trench that runs past the open yards with the fences towering up on either side of you. And you proceed down this trench toward this immense steel door beyond. As you look to your left and your right, and you look through the gates and you the iron fences, and you see these grass plots to your left and right, they're empty and quiet at this time of night. Although from your perspective, you can still make out the dim flicker of candlelight from the windows of the prison overlooking the fields. And even now, you can spot a number of shadows in these tiny barred windows, prisoners gazing out at a freedom just out of their reach. Ed Leovan guides you up to the prison's entrance, where there are two more guards there, and they unbar the front gate, and they lead you inside. You ascend a series of stone steps into a lobby, and here you are greeted by half a dozen city guards, including two behind a check-in desk. And as you enter this cold stone entryway, the light from the nearby torch sconces casting ominous shadows across the floor, you spot a human man in a trim gray suit who steps out of these shadows, his hands behind his back, and he bears a stern grimace. His skin appears dry, his mutton chops are wiry, and he glares at you as you enter. And he says, "I say, Ed, it's most unusual to come visiting past hours." And he says, "Still, Cornelius, we live in unusual times." And Edward Leovan motions to the man who has approached, and he says, "May I introduce Cornelius Ainsworth, the prison's warden, a fixture in Arcadia for decades." Cornelius speaks once more. He says, "Oh, yes, very well. We've prepared rooms for your interviews. For safety, we've separated them all into their own interrogation rooms. However, I must ask that before you go in, you check any weapons and magical items at the desk, including any magical foci. As you can imagine, we can't risk anything dangerous coming in."
What do you say, foci?
Yeah.
What's that?
Focus.
Your magical focus.
Oh,
That would be kind of hard for Goth.
That would be hard for Goff because of your tattoos.
but we don't tell anyone that.
No.
Could I kind of stealthily cast this while we were approaching? Is that possible? Should I roll something?
What do you want to do? I'm
I
sorry.
think-
Oh,
Cast
you're doing
True
true
Seeing?
seeing? Yeah, you can do that.
Doesn't that show up when Harith? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Never mind. I don't want to.
No, that's fine. Yeah, it's a VSM. Yeah, so as you're making your way up the pathway, you just you cast it to yourself as you make your way through.
Okay.
So he waits there expectantly. The two guards at the check-in
Right.
desk are also
I
waiting.
assumed as much.
Shit over.
So they all systematically wait as you all remove any magical items that are in your possession and turn them over for safekeeping. Are there any things that you try to hold on to or try to hide?
I got my focus, so
So
my
you're
bandana,
okay.
my band of my smart
Your smart band. Oh, you try to hide that?
please.
It's kind of on your head.
Oh, it is.
It's just a normal bandana.
I never knew she was wearing a band. Otherwise, I would have drawn it in her token. Whoops.
It's okay, I
It's just
forget about it.
It's a headband.
Okay,
It's a
never
normal
mind.
How much do you lose when you take that off?
I don't know what Ellen's old intelligence stat was.
Oh God.
I
I
don't.
don't think it was. I don't think it was 19.
It was definitely not
I
19.
think it was closer to like 10 or 11.
Huh.
12, 11, 10,
Yeah, something like
10,
that.
11. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I honestly don't remember, but it wasn't. It wasn't
I
19.
thought it was higher
It
than
was-
that, but
It doesn't matter. So you all like take all of your magical equipment as well as any magical items in your possession. As you're doing so, you also notice Ed Leovin. He very quietly takes a small pistol out of a holster and checks that in, as well as what looks to be a small pocket watch that he pulls out of his breast pocket and checks that in as well.
Yeah. I take everything off except my bracelet. Can they detect that stuff?
You don't know.
Yeah, I take everything off. I keep the brooch. If they say anything about it, I'll hand it over. But
Okay.
I am handing over everything except getting an inventory. I want to keep the wristlet of disguise on, which I think that's technically a Walden invention.
Yeah,
right?
that's a Walden innovation
So
right there.
I'm holding on to
Oh.
that just in case, and yeah, I'll just hold on to that.
So, as you're finishing up, Cornelius Ainsworth looks toward you and says, "Very well, follow me." And you see two guards move over to the gate and unlock it. Another one on the other side unlocks a gate on that side. They both open it, and you proceed inside. Sissel, Mido, who else had magical items that you were trying to take in?
I think it was just them two.
Okay, as you pass this threshold, you hear an alarm spell signal.
whoops.
You see Cornelius Ainsworth turn around and glare at you.
Oh.
I said everything, or you don't come in.
Sorry about that. Forgot this, and I hand over the brooch.
Okay.
Mido
Mido?
kind of feels around for a bit. Oh. And like really reluctantly takes off the bracelet.
Okay, and you check it in.
Yeah.
Okay, so at that point, you're all led into the prison. The two guards and Warden Ainsworth lead you through a series of dimly lit hallways, cell upon cell on either side of you. You can make out shapes within, prisoners sentenced for who knows how long. Some are resting on bunks, others rest against the bars. The ones that are against the bars, the guards, as they're proceeding forward, are knocking their clubs against the bars to try to kind of push them back. Some of them are actually grunting and making comments as you pass. The others are trying to reach out towards you, only to have their knuckles cracked by the guards. And
Uh-huh.
Cornelius Ainsworth, Warden Ainsworth, looks towards you as this is happening. He says, "You'll have to excuse their demeanor. It's been a long time since they've seen a woman." Ultimately, the warden.
How disgusting.
Wait, what?
Quite.
What just
quite.
happened?
There's a lot of gross men in these cells.
A lot of gross men. And he says,
A lot of rowdy,
Oh,
dirty
boy.
boys.
"I agree. Follow me. I apologize."
Horny
Ult-
Jane.
Ultimately, the warden leads you into a quieter wing of the prison. The guards bringing you through another series of iron gates with their own watchmen at them. You are brought into a nondescript stone hallway with a number of metal doors on each side. And as you enter this hallway, you feel you see a number of guards stationed at each of these doors. The warden stops, and without turning to face you, he gestures with one hand to his left. He says, "Miss Stonebrook is through this door, and Stanford is next door." And then he points to his right, and he says, "And on the right, you'll find Chainbreaker in this room and Void Runner in the other. They are shackled with Avakium chains. They pose you no threat, but we will be waiting outside in case anything happens." And he steps away.
Thank you.
Leovan turns to face you and he says, "Very well. I'll leave it to you.
How much time do we have?
How much time you need? I'll do what I can."
Enough.
We can start with an hour or two.
That's,
Do as you see fit. I already have been appraised of the findings that you found at the bank. I am humbled and impressed, and perhaps there is a possibility here after all.
I'm insight checking him just to see if he's. There was that one
He's
time
on
that
it.
he. Okay, there was just the one time I think we insight checked him or something, and he was like hard to read even with a high roll. And I
Yeah,
was
he
like,
was hard to read. I mean, all attorneys keep things close to the chest most
I
of the
know,
time.
I know. I'm just gotta
It
be
doesn't mean
certain.
anything.
Comes with the territory.
Okay, so you are left in this hallway. You've been directed to where these various people are. You can choose to do what you want.
So
We take this one at a time.
I feel like that's probably best.
I believe it's best if we're all together.
Yes.
We work best together, separate. Shall we start with a preferred option first, or shall we start with the unfortunate options?
I'd rather. Let's see her last. I'd rather
Leave on
feel good.
Really,
a better note.
Leave on a good note. Yeah.
very well. I guess starting with whatever the first door closest.
They're all kind of close to one another. Do you want to talk to the suit, the soldier, or the scientist? Let's put it that way.
Suit first,
Do
I guess.
you think it matters which one we talk to in which order?
Probably not.
Not particularly.
It's not like they can communicate with each other. Let's
That we
go.
know of.
There's an
Guess we
anti-magic
have
field
fun.
here.
Just do it in the order that they're named.
Yeah.
Suit
There's
first.
there's not an. It's just that they have the vacuum on, right?
Yeah.
It's not that
Yeah.
there's not an anti-magic.
Oh.
There's no anti-magic field, but they cannot cast any spells or do
Ah,
anything.
okay.
They're shackled. Okay, so you head into the room with Penn Stanford. As you walk inside, you see a man who he's a middle-aged human man, very well coiffed brown hair. He very impeccable complexion. He sits with this air of aloofness as he has his hands crossed in front of him. He looks like he's wearing dress pants and a button-down shirt, but it looks a little dirty, as if he hasn't he slept in it.
My boy,
And
is
it's a
that
little
Gucci?
disheveled. And he kind of peers at you over these very thin set of spectacles as you enter. He says, "Well, is this farce going to be over soon?"
Depends on how well you cooperate.
Golf?
Very well, ask your questions.
And what farce do you speak of? Suit.
I speak of the Grand Master, of course. The sooner that you can convict her, the sooner I can get off for good behavior.
Insight checking him.
Go for it.
Also, can
I'm
I like? Can I
in
just?
bed.
Oh, damn
Can
it,
I just
no.
like
Sorry.
check the vacuum handcuffs just because I'm curious and also want to double check, make sure everything's good.
Okay. Hiraeth, give me a. What do we have you roll for those smith tools typically? Or what's your like stonemasony?
It's
Oh.
a history check, the stone cutting thing, like the dwarf
Well,
thing.
what would you like to roll? Let me ask you that way, because I don't really have an idea of.
Let me look.
I would say either a straight intelligence check or a history check.
They're both the same for me, so I'll just do both, I guess,
Okay.
because they're both the same modifier.
Ellen.
Oh, it's not good. It's only a 6.
It's only a 6. I mean.
Well,
they're
hold
like
on. I have Ow! I just actually rolled out of my chair, but I do get. I get advantage because of stone cutting.
Okay. Sure.
Ow.
You okay?
Oh.
No, I actually fell out of my chair onto the ground
Oh,
trying to
no.
reach for my. Ow, and I pulled something in my leg.
Oh,
But I
no.
did roll a natural 19, which is a 20. So I
Okay,
know.
so 20 for Hiraeth,
28 insight for Ellen.
28 insight for Ellen. Hiraeth, they look like a fairly sturdy construction. They look
Okay.
like they are truly Avakium. You've worked with the metal enough times to know, and they look like similar to the shackles that you used on Medici.
Okay.
Ellen, he seems honest. There's nothing about what he's saying that sounds like he's trying to be deceptive.
Golf? Golf?
In time.
Okay.
Why do you believe that Anna Stonebrook is the Grandmaster?
Well, because Miss Stonebrook contacted me 6 months ago. She knew that my family owned a number of shipping companies, made it easy to traffic money and weapons around. She knew that I was disheartened by the corrupt politics of this city, and she promised me that if I helped her pursue her goals, that things would get better. That she would reopen the siphon, flood the world with magic, and that everyone could harness it, and there would be no more elites, no more wealthy. People could fight back against their oppressors.
6 months ago, you say, right?
You make it sound so noble.
Isn't that what we're doing? We're trying to give power back into the hands of the people.
Did it take her very long to convince you, or was she very, very persuasive?
She was very persuasive. So I've
Do you
been
know-
assisting her. I've been assisting her in moving money and goods around for the past half a year.
Do you know what the Crimson Harbingers do?
Well, we have one goal, and that's to open the siphon.
And you think it is a social cause. You think they are opening the siphon to dismantle man-made concepts and constructs. You think that is the reason?
I do. You see, you saw how much the world changed when it opened the first time. Magic flooded into our world, but it still was kept into the hands of the few, those who could regulate it and study it and use it for their own ends. But if the siphon opens again and magic pours into this world and everybody can harness it, everybody's an equal.
What's to keep that from happening again after the dust settles?
Well, I guess we'll have to see. He kind of grins. Alan, as you're kind of scrutinizing this man, there is nothing about anything that he's saying that seems like a lie or a deception. He seems like a true believer.
So when I don't remember how this worked. When I used when I used Greater Restoration to help Ellen regain her memory, how did I mean, Ellen, we were suspicious because of information not matching what Ellen remembered, but was there a way that I knew that the memory was
No.
modified? So I just used it in thought and just hoped that it worked.
Yes.
Well, I don't want to go until Red was typing something.
Yeah.
Huh?
Alex was doing something in text RP, so I was just making
okay.
sure I didn't. Oh, Mel can't see that, but I'll
yeah.
read it. So, Mel, are you looking at? You can't look at roll 20, right?
Phone call.
No.
I think Alex meant the contact that this guy claims Alma had
yeah,
with
I'm
him.
sorry, I'm zoning out, but yeah, he said that he was contacted by her, right?
Yeah.
Or is basically like a phone call. My brain was like, fantasy phone call.
So-
Fantasy phone call.
Mel- Haraith tore up a piece of paper in her journal, starts writing something down, and then passes a paper to Sissel that says if that phone call, aka if that contact lasted such a short time, it could have been modified, like in the memory. And then Sissel nodded, like read it, nodded about that, and then gave the note to Ellen, so Ellen could see it.
Hmm.
He kind of crosses his legs and he says, "Is that it? No more questions."
Not quite yet.
Golf.
Yes.
I think maybe we should thank him and shake his hand. Would you do the honors?
Very well. Well, we thank you for your cooperation, Stanford, as they call you. Very, of course. And I reach out to. I don't know if his hands are restrained or not.
They are shackled and kind of bolted to the like they're basically his hands are shackled and the chain reaches down to his legs as well, his ankles, and the shackle is secured on the ground.
Okay, I reach out and like touch like his arm.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try casting Greater Restoration and see if it restores his memory, if there's even a modified memory.
Okay. All right. As your restorative magics flow through Penn Stanford, he has this sort of 1,000-yard stare for a moment, and then he looks up at you with this vacant expression, and he looks at everybody else, and then
Welcome back.
he attempts to try to stand up very quickly, and he says, "That bastard! Forever!" And then he seizes up. And Goff, you notice his face. You see these spiderweb cracks of necrotic,
Oh!
something necrotic, just
God.
spidering out through his veins.
Can I try removing curse?
You can try removing curse.
I quickly go, oh, God, and I try touching him again and use remove curse.
As you remove the curse, this doesn't seem to be a curse.
Ah, fuck.
As the
Oh my.
as you suddenly see all of his veins start popping and bulging as this
Ah.
black substance starts snaking their way through him, and you see his mouth. He coughs, and you see a vile-looking black substance ichor start coughing out of his mouth, and he looks around frantically, and he doubles over in pain, and he seeing that he's still shackled, he tries to pull away from him, and he can't. And
Golf,
then
can you heal him?
you see he quite suddenly. Goff, is there anything you want to do as you're witnessing all
Well,
this?
I don't. Okay, so remove curse didn't work. It does not. Like, can I do a medicine check? Anything that would inform me of what's happening?
This is very quick, so I'd say you have one more. What do you want to do? Do you want to do a medicine check and a arcana check? It's up to you.
So I can only do a check or a
It's
spell.
not-
I
this
can't
is
do
happening
both.
this is happening so quick that you would have one thing to do.
Does that include checks, or does it mean checks and spells?
Both. You gotta
So
choose.
I could only do a check or a spell. I can't do both.
Correct.
There
This is happening very quickly.
was some stuff coming out of his mouth, like poison.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Goff knows his spells better than I know his spells, so give me a second to look at his spells. So not enough time to do a check and a spell, so I'm just gonna have to wing it, because if I do a check and learn what it is, then it won't really matter when he's dead. I'll try lesser restoration, see if
Okay,
it's
what is-
poison.
All right.
It's my best guess in this moment.
Okay.
It'll cure poison if it's a poison.
As you cast Lesser Restoration, trying to steady him, he's starting to seize and convulse. You notice as you do so that some of the kind of the necrotic spiderwebbing pattern in his veins subsides a little bit, but it's still there. You get the sense that at this point it's probably taken hold at this point and corrupt and compromised his internal organs. He lurches forward very suddenly and slams his head into the metal table.
Oh no.
And then he slams it again
Oh no.
and again and again and again.
we
Can I
should
stop him?
Try to.
Intervene!
Well, no,
him.
he tries to push you off. You can make a strength check if you wish, but as he's doing
Can
this,
I-
you see blood starting to pool on the table, and
Can I
he
help?
starts. Yeah, you can help, but as
Okay.
you,
I'm running
give
out
me a
and
strength
calling
check.
the guards.
Give me a strength check. Uh, Alan, you holler for the guards. The door unlocks, and two of the guards rush in.
Am I rolling a strength or am I giving Goff advantage?
What do you?
Are we doing strength or athletics?
Strength. Goff, you do not have your gauntlets of ogre strength.
Right. So it's a +3 instead of a +4.
Alright, can I help?
I gotta.
It's advantage.
Yeah.
You're already getting advantage.
Oh, advantage.
Yeah.
Because you're being assisted by a number of people. 19. You manage to pull him away as he's slammed his head a number of times into the table. At this point, you see that he's kind of split his forehead a little bit, and there's a lot of blood on the metal table, and he seems to be trying to, as his body continues to convulse and seize, he looks like he's trying to reach toward the table with an outstretched finger where the blood has pooled.
Oh.
Oh, like he's pointing at the blood.
Like he's trying to reach it with his finger.
Let him write something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just kind of like-
I let him. I let him move back in place just enough to touch the blood.
He starts frantically moving his fingers all over the table, and you actually watch as the strength leaves him as once he's finished, he collapses over it,
What
and he's
did-
not moving.
What did he write?
Can we see it, or is he on top of it?
He's on top of it.
I slowly pick him
Gently.
up
Yeah.
gently.
Goff, as you're touching him, he's pale. He's no longer breathing.
Oh my god.
Scrawled in his own blood on the metal table are two words, and it reads, "The Bard."
Uh,
I look at Hiraeth nervously.
What?
what is this?
I don't know.
That happened very quickly. I could not remove it with curse. I could not remove it. It was not a poison that I could cleanse. Whatever that was, it was vicious.
Did he look at Ellen at all?
No.
At what? What was the question? Would you ask? I didn't. Oh,
I don't suppose I've seen anything different with True Seeing, right? Everything was
No.
the same for me?
Everything was
Okay.
the same. So as this is all happening, the guards at this point have entered the room and they are pulling the body away. You see both Warden Ainsworth and Ed Leovan pushing their way into the room. They're aghast at this situation. And Warden Ainsworth, he says, "What have you done?
we were questioning him, and
You used magic in my prison."
How do you know that?
Because what else could have done this?
there was some poison in his body. It
Maybe
overtook
he suddenly
him.
fell ill.
Did you see the body? Did you look at him?
This happened.
I know no
quickly.
magic that can do that.
He pushes past you and he takes a look at the body and he starts turning it over. He says, "Under my watch. Get out!"
We didn't do anything, bitch.
You can't call the warden a bitch.
Ed Leovan puts a hand on your shoulder, Mito, and he says, "Perhaps best not to antagonize them."
Are we still able
So what
to...
does this? Can we at least do? Are we not? Is this?
This is an absolute mess. I'm going to have to let the prosecution know that one of their star witnesses was killed under my watch.
None of us killed him.
We'll let the city guard determine that. I have to report this to them.
Well, I like to add. Oh,
Well, this got complicated.
can we speak with Anna?
Absolutely not. You're done here.
Can we speak with Anna, please?
Get out of my
We did
prison.
not kill this man, and you have no way of proving that we did.
Guards!
Oy.
Ed Leovan just seems totally beside himself. He's like, perhaps it's best if we go.
I hate this city.
Can I spit on him?
Don't.
That might
I know
make
that
it
was on
worse.
it.
That was in character.
It's probably best not to.
Hold on. Step outside. Let me try to smooth this over. I'll see if I can at least get you an audience with Anna.
All right.
What bard?
I don't
What
know.
other bards do we know?
I don't know. What the fuck
My
was that?
mother.
You think your mom has something to do with this?
God, I hope not. She's the only other bard that we know of. The only
We don't
other
know where
bard we
they
know
are.
who has powerful enough to do that.
I will say if we're talking about the person that cast this, I'm not even sure if I'm correct on what we're talking about, but if we're talking about the person that could have done this, being able to affect a memory that is something like over a month back is very powerful magic.
To the point where it would be able to. I don't know what that reaction was.
Is there a check I can make to understand why the fuck that happened after his memory was modified or unmodified? Like Arcana or something?
Can I do that
Yeah,
too?
make an Arcana. Yeah, make an Arcana check.
Both of us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, whoever wishes to, yeah, can make an Arcana check.
I got a 19.
19,
I got a 14 plus 6. That's 20.
20. Okay. So Sissel, actually, this comes to you immediately that, you know that it's relatively, it's possible to plant a suggestion in someone's head.
Yeah.
And perhaps he had something on him or in him. And Goff, you're thinking about this, and you're thinking about the time that you guys encountered the assassins in the Highlands, and how one of them had a capsule in his tooth that allowed him to poison himself.
So
here's the thing. There, do you remember the assassins that tried to kill Ellen?
of course.
Remember the capsule that they had in their teeth that was poison?
Yes, I was thinking similar, but I don't think he took it of his own volition. He seemed
No.
angry about someone or something, and then it affected him as if he had no choice.
Yes, there's a spell that I have that you can suggest something to somebody. And
You think?
if the capsule was planted there, it would be possible to just suggest, like, he clench his teeth or something in a certain way, and that wouldn't be harmful to him, to his knowledge, but I mean,
Oh, Mother, help us. So,
we're
number of
dealing with
steps they
some nasty magic here.
I'm so tired of these red fools.
Well,
What now?
Let's hope the inspector can smooth things over enough for us to talk to Anna.
Almost as if on cue, the attorney exits the room. You see some of the guards following suit. They're carrying the lifeless body of Penn Stamford out of the interrogation room, and the warden follows, gives you all a glare, and then heads off in a huff in the other direction. And
Check his teeth!
at
I just call after them.
that point, Ed looks toward you and he says, I was able to get him to agree to let you see Miss Stonebrook.
Thank you.
Under
Can
guard
I-
supervision.
Of course. Can I share everything that we just figured out with him?
There are guards nearby. I don't know if that's something that matters to you.
I
or
don't.
not.
That doesn't matter at this
Okay.
point.
Okay. He says, my word, who are we dealing with here?
Someone very powerful, it seems.
And this bard, who do you think it may be?
We have.
If this is the same crew that pulled off what happened at the bank, it might have been the gnome.
Well, thinks for a moment. If it were up to me, what I would do is, if these lieutenants have indeed had their memory modified, then I would find out when they had their memory modified and where. They were brought in last night with Anna. City guard cornered them at the edges of the far corners. At that point, it's possible anywhere between then and now they had their memory altered, although they have been in custody.
They
For most
cornered
of
all
the
four of them together?
Yes.
Do we know what kind of situation they were in when they were found? Were they speaking?
My understanding is that, at least the way the guards tell it, they all arrived in the city together. Although my client claims otherwise, claims that they confronted her as she entered the city, and that the guards fell upon them all soon after. In any event, if you wish to speak to her, now would be the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Very well.
He nods. He looks very tired.
Thank you,
should
Lehman.
get some rest.
Your efforts are valuable.
I will not be getting rest anytime soon. He gestures toward the room with Anna waiting. One of the guards opens the door for you and steps inside, as does another guard. And they let you all in.
Alright.
And as you step inside, you see Anna on the opposite side of the table, her hands and legs shackled to the ground in a similar manner, her full dragonborn form on display. She looks tired. She looks like she's been crying. She looks scared. But you see her eyes light up and a small smile appear on her face as you all enter the room. And she looks like she tries to stand up very quickly, but realizing that she's shackled, she kind of quickly falls back into her seat.
I never told you, but gold is a great look on you.
Oh. I've lost that sheen a little bit over the years.
I'm
I'm glad you're back.
glad you are
Glad you're
here.
here too.
Well, not
Well,
in
not
here,
here.
but
Well, we're glad,
to
you're
see you.
in Arcadia with us.
I tried to send you a message yesterday. It was earlier today, sorry. Earlier today, but when it did not reach you, I was very concerned.
Yeah, they brought me in early this morning when I came back into the city.
So we've heard.
Where were you?
I've been around the last couple of weeks. You see her kind of hang her head a little bit, and tears are welling up a little bit. You know, it's been a few months now, but I've been busy, so busy. I really haven't had time to process Fioren's death and how I feel about it. So I took some time off to kind of walk the Vale and see old sites that reminded me of him. And I went down to Lindholm, to the university where we first met, and to the crossroads, visited his grave. She looks at you, Goff, and she says, I know you tried to contact me, but I just wanted to be alone.
Of course.
Responsibility weighs heavy on you, Stonebrook. I let it go.
I think that those days are over.
Maybe not.
Not if I have
Jesus.
anything to say about
She
it.
laughs a little hollowly, and she says, well, even if you do find me innocent, I don't think they're going to want this. She points to herself, leading their city.
You look just
But
fine
you're-
to me.
You look beautiful
A
like that.
golden goddess leading the city? How would they not want that?
People in the city are stupid.
I saw how they looked at me when I entered that courtroom. They will not understand.
No, they may never. I know. But you will not die. We will see to that.
Then you can join our party.
I think Anna has more to worry about.
If I get out of here, I'm leaving Arcadia and I'm not looking back.
I wouldn't
Well-
blame you.
If you do
We'll
leave
see what
Arcadia,
happens.
just know you always have a place at the Dapper Snapdragon. We'll
Sure,
keep it waiting for you.
I'll sneak in from time to time and have some breakfast.
That sounds
Eggs,
course.
right?
Our cook is a magician in the kitchen.
He's fantastic.
Not an actual magician.
They've got a lot on me.
We have
That's
a
what they
lot to
say.
defend you.
Yeah, Ed has told me some of the things you found.
Sounds like the expensive investigators, have forgotten how to put in a bit of work, huh?
Oh,
She would not stop.
Don't-
She would not stop talking about this all day.
don't blame them.
I know.
Magic's only existed for 20 years. Some of these people are old gumshoes. They don't know any better. They still do things the old-fashioned way.
That's true.
Well, we're getting more and more evidence there's been some foul play here. And
Oh,
the plot yet
I know.
thickens.
well, I do know when I entered the city, those three ambushed me. Said that the Grandmaster had plans for me. And around that time, that's when the city guard descended on us, and they actually looked surprised, as if they weren't expecting it. I think one of them whispered betrayal.
They said the
So-
Grandmaster had plans for you?
Yeah.
Did they mention
So-
anything else about the Grandmaster?
No, there wasn't any time for that, because the city guard was right there waiting for us.
I'd imagine.
So they knew when you met them,
Was it only the
they
three of
knew
them?
who the Grandmaster really was. So sometime between when the guard found them and now, they are to believe otherwise.
Seems that way.
And they do. And there are many fail-safes in place to make sure that they remain knowing that or die otherwise.
Did they come in contact with anyone on your way to the prison?
We didn't go to the prison right away. We went to the city guard precinct. We were all interrogated individually.
That would be a perfect time, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I don't
Do
know
you know
about
who
them, but they
interrogated-
had guards outside my room the whole time, and in.
Okay.
Once
What
Detective
happened?
Blakemore and Detective Shelby finished interviewing me, they put me in cuffs and carted me down here.
Do you know which one of them interviewed these three?
I'm afraid not.
Do you know?
Is there any kind of
So-
surveillance in this place?
Here?
Yes.
Or in the
Yes.
precinct?
The precinct, probably. Although, maybe not in the interrogation rooms. They have anti-magic fields in there.
Okay.
I'm interested in seeing what went down there. Especially if someone someone had to have modified their memory between them confronting you and them ending up here. just wish I knew.
Well, this is something we can follow, and I don't trust that Shelby, the slimy one. I don't like him.
No, I don't.
I get the
don't trust
feeling
him.
his partner doesn't like him.
Do we know, do we know much about... I guess this is not the best place to ask this, but I wanted to know how long he's been around.
Shelby?
Yeah. Has he been... This is not the
You
proper
don't know
place to
that.
ask this. I'll have to ask later. Entertaining my wild theories.
No. Jim's been on the force for decades.
Okay. Good to
He's
know.
always got reports about him.
I just had a really wild, theory, but that's okay.
He's one of the old guard who got grandfathered in. He never really done a good job. I always
Okay.
got reprimands and reports about him from Captain Blackrook.
Okay.
But they kept him around. I don't know why. Probably because he did get results on occasion, bare minimum.
I'm familiar with the type of investigator. Right.
And then I have to feed Gatsby before he knocks everything off my desk.
The trial is going to begin in earnest tomorrow. They're going to start bringing the witnesses out, present their evidence. Hopefully Ed here, and she looks over at her attorney. She says hopefully he'll be able to use what you found to at least sow a little bit of doubt. Ed pipes up. He says, "We have a good case, I think."
What time tomorrow?
Early in the morning. It's going to be all day.
Alright. We
Okay.
have the rest of tonight to see if we can find anything else to make it the better case.
Ed kind of puts a hand on the shoulder of whoever's nearest, and he says, "Keep me informed. Find out what you can. I think you would be far more useful with your feet on the ground than sitting in the courtroom. There's not much you can do anyway, as there's an anti-magic field over the entire court to begin with. The courthouse, or the courtroom, rather."
Fair.
That sounds good. Let's...
Just trust that I have enough, I think, at this point to sow some doubt.
It's a start.
If you
Let's see how...
if you come into contact with whoever is currently holding the other two, tell them to check the back of their teeth.
After that display, I will.
There's
And, have a cleric, after the teeth have been checked, see if you can get a cleric to use greater restoration on them.
I will.
Thank you. So, also, Anna, you should know, Walden and Jack are fighting, well,
Those
on the
idiots.
investigation.
Oh, they're gonna screw something up. I just know it.
Well,
Well,
we couldn't
It
Check
got
on
me
check on them on occasion, just make sure they're staying out of trouble.
we will.
I'm worried
Oh,
more
no.
about Samuel than I am about Jack. Jack can take care of himself.
I was going to say, I think you and I both know that it is impossible to follow Jack around.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Hevate can.
Only
so
for
much
a,
work,
only
though.
for a while, and it is a lot of work.
blink and you'll miss them.
We will make sure that Sam does not get himself into trouble as much as we can.
Or
Good.
that trouble does not find him.
Well, I'll be here, I guess.
It was good to see you.
Hopefully not for long.
We've got your back, Anna.
I know you do. Thank you.
Don't give up yet.
She nods. And sort of sinks back exhaustedly in the seat that she's in. Ed turns toward the rest of you and says, I think it's best if we let Anna rest. It's going to be a long day for her tomorrow.
Of course.
Okay.
As we're leaving, I just turn and say, Grove Mother watch over you. Carry on.
See her tear up a little bit. As you're all escorted by the guards out of the interrogation wing and back toward the front of the prison, toward the check-in desk to retrieve your items.
Yeah.
Was everything all accounted for?
I mean, you retrieve everything. You retrieve your bag of holding, you retrieve all the other stuff.
Okay, so yes.
I mean, do you check everything? Or you check
I'm
I'm
inside the
Inside
bag
checking
of
all my
holding?
stuff.
Well, they can't affect the bag. What's inside the bag? They don't know what's in there.
That's true.
I mean, I can check the bag of holding. I'll check everything. I don't.
I do want somebody to check and make sure the key's in there.
Yes.
Okay.
Goff will discreetly, at a moment when it's opportune, put his hand in to feel for it, but not pull it out.
Goff, as you reach into the bag, envisioning the key in your mind's eye, pull your hand out. It's empty.
Ah! I knew it! Oh.
All right, man. That's it.
Wait, what's missing?
We're turning
That's it.
around.
No, that's it, man. Like, you can't. You know what? I'm now instating a rule. You can no longer, ever, once again, for the rest of our fucking lives, give us shit for rolling insight or never trusting anything you do. We can never trust you anymore,
What
man.
is missing? I'm sorry.
Like, you always give us shit. The key.
Fuck,
You always give us shit about being so cautious, having someone hold on to the items. You always. That's it. It's gone. The trust is gone.
Don't be mad about this.
Well, no, because you try to make it sound like you're not trying to fuck us over with this stuff, and then you do. I'm just, good drama. I'm just letting you know I can't trust you anymore, so you can't get mad at me anymore.
I mean, this is my job as a DM, Tom. Don't get mad about this.
Goff-
It's upsetting me.
Is Goff going to tell us this?
He keeps it with him.
Well.
for the rest of his life.
Because surely they know who's been around. I want to beat him up.
Cecil,
Yes.
Cecil,
Yes.
can you scry on objects?
Yes, I can.
Scry on the key right now,
I'm gonna do it.
What?
please.
I'm scrying on the
you're
key
scrying on the
immediately.
key?
Yep.
Okay. You have probably been in the prison for like, I'd say, 45 minutes at total. You scry on the key and your vision shifts upward and moves north and then west toward the civic district. And then zooms down on the police precinct, the city guard precinct, where, after a moment, in a darkened room, you see the Pall of Undeath, the siphon key, just sitting on a desk.
It's in the city guard precinct. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yep.
Let's go. Let's
We're
go.
running, we're
Immediately.
running,
Yep.
we're running,
No,
we're
it's
running.
going
Lesbians,
back,
let's
right?
go.
Let's
Let's go, lesbians!
Let's
Oh
go,
my God,
lesbians!
No,
lesbians!
sit back, right?
And
Oh
as
my
you-
God,
as you-
lesbians.
As you rush across the city in pursuit of whoever stole the siphon key, that is where we're going to leave off tonight.
Lord! We turn our backs for a second.
I had a feeling as soon as you mentioned the bag, I was like,
Yeah.
uh-oh.
I felt like I know you're probably gonna just giggle maniacally about this, but I'm genuinely hurt because
Aw.
I felt like you were trying to instill goodwill in me as a player because I was always so suspicious. Like, no man, I wouldn't do all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, like, fine, I won't. I was thinking before we went in, maybe Goff should stand outside with all the items so this shit doesn't happen. But you were like, no man, not everyone in the city is trying to get out to get you. And I'm like, fine. I'll trust.
Except
I'll
for the
believe
ones
in
that
Val.
are.
And then
No, it's just-
I decide, fine, it won't be a big deal, whatever. How could they possibly know we have it? And then this happens.
I mean, you
I just
told them
feel-
you had it.
What?
You
We
told
did.
them you had
Ellen
Where
said
did
that
we
we
get
had it.
Who did she tell? She just told one guy.
She told one of the detectives.
Yeah.
Who told the other detective.
Yeah, word spreads.
And
There
then we
have
left the
it.
bag alone.
I
It
still
was
just feel.
the consequence of actions.
Yeah.
Please don't get upset with me. I mean, this is my job as a DM. I gotta.
Hmm.
No, I
play
know
it
you have to
out.
tell the story. I'm just.
And it generally upsets me when you get like that visibly angry. Like
Well,
it makes me upset. And I don't like seeing you guys get upset.
No,
But
the reason I got dramatic was because you always tease us about how we're so cautious and act like it's not we shouldn't be so cautious. But then you do stuff like that, and it's like, well, of course we are.
well,
So it's like,
I'm just saying. Look. The thing, I understand that and I appreciate that, but I'm just saying that stuff is gonna. Some people are gonna try to be deceptive whether you want them to or not.
I know that.
And like you could have chosen to stay outside with the bag, and nothing would have happened.
I
But
know.
Given that you already divulged that you guys had the key, I mean, obviously at this point there are going to be people in the city who want to get the key from you, and
I'm not mad at you for the switch. Like I'm not. That's a drama thing. I'm totally cool with pursuing that. I was making a bigger deal about how there's this kind of constant joke with you where you tease
Alright,
us
I won't
about
joke
being so
anymore,
cautious. What?
I won't joke anymore then.
No, it was about that. It wasn't about the big switcheroos are gonna happen. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. I come off as a dick. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I wasn't expecting that you would be that mad about it.
Because I was waiting for something
Kind of
big.
like shocked me a little bit. That's all.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to come off as like furious. Never mind. Sorry, guys.
We're good.
You're good.
You're
dude.
fine. You're fine. I
It's
understand.
all
your reaction.
Gucci.
Oh my
Thank
god.
you for the session.
Leslie.
Yeah,
Falcon
oh my god.
24.
The plot
Do you want to
thickens.
hear about my wild theory? Because
Yeah.
it made like so many things very fun for a second.
Elena.
Yeah.
I was thinking that I was just thinking about bars that we know, and then I remembered my shitty brother, and I'm like, what if he had like, what if he had like,
terrible
what if
brother,
he had-
Brian.
what if he had like infiltrated and was like pretending to be the gross detective, and that made him asking about our dad be really funny to me.
Oh my
But then-
god.
But then I realized, yeah, that's not possible. But I'm like, what if though? That would have been so much.
Like-
Like if he realized
That wouldn't have
later
worked in
that
an anti-magic field, but yeah.
yeah, I
good.
know.
That's true,
I'm just
yeah.
thinking about like what it would have been like later. She realized that had been her brother. She would have been so fucking mad. Oh,
Like,
God.
God, I wish I had thought of that now. I would have.
I know. Part of me just wanted to tell you because I'm like, man, that would have been good. But it's fine. I still like that scene. It was fun.
Hey,
Shitty brother
hey, gamers.
Marjorie.
Gamers, couple things. One, I just got to the pickle press part of Dungeon Meshi.
The
You got to
what?
the what?
Part?
The pickle press part.
Oh yeah,
pickle
the
press.
one that's my Twitter header.
That's when I started laughing, and like towards the end of the session, I was like reading it, and that part happened. I was like,
Hey, let's see a
Oh.
good tweet about pizza.
Pizza.
Wow.
Pizza
Let
the dog.
me
pizza to the
stop recording.
dog.
Pizza.